talked about that shit enough.
All right. All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 391. Don't drink the toxic masculinity. Oh no, a woman trying to protect the men from themselves, or I don't know, their urges or their desires or their emotions or their ideologies. I don't know what they're talking about.
What's toxic masculinity again?
We don't know. No one knows. That's
We'll never know.
the fun thing. Anyway, this came out 3 years ago in March from a YouTuber called Newsbroke. Not sure if that's just her or there's more of her or there's many other people on this show. I don't know.
Oh, there is more of her, yes.
Yeah.
They walk around the streets.
Yeah, at least we know they're broke.
And this video has almost 80,000 views. It has a almost half and half ratio between 3.5 thousand upvotes and 3.3 thousand downvotes. So clearly, not too many people are enjoying
Balance,
this.
as all things should be.
Yeah, the crazies versus the people going, what the freaking hell is this?
No, it should not be balanced, Mark.
Yeah, so I don't know if this is...
There needs to be 0 likes.
A comedy take or a half-serious take with some facts, or just crazy feminist ideology and just trying to shame men. I don't know.
Of course they're serious about it. They're that fucked up in the head.
Well, if you look at the video description, you'll see a bunch of TED Talk links.
Well,
of course.
You know what I do like? The first... I don't know why YouTube's doing this now or how this works, but right under the video, there's a little Wikipedia link. It says, Al Jazeera is funded in whole or in part by the Qatari government.
So it's literal propaganda?
Yeah, what is happening with that means this is intersectional feminist social justice propaganda by Qatar, funded by Qatar to subvert and weaken the Western civilization, Western countries, Western world.
Right.
Because if you look at Qatar, who funds this, none of this stuff is present in their own country. Qatar is one of the countries that has actual slaves. For one.
Well, the thing about this wonderful YouTube service is if you click on the 3 dots, it'll send you to a link that says information panel providing publisher context. So it's telling you, by the way, this is made by a news organization or this sort of group. And
and
they don't know their shit.
Yeah, and Qatar only has not even 3 million people. That's smaller than the city of Berlin. And they have this much power in media that they're driving worldwide propaganda, because this is where you can see how much why that it is propaganda, because Qatar, that thinks a completely different way from what is on their state-funded network for the West, the English speaking stuff. They don't live any of that. They want us to live by that because they know it's bad for us, and it's good for them when it's bad for us.
Well,
that's why they don't do it.
The thumbnail is pretty much what I want to address, because we have a one of those party cups, those red party cups with the male symbol for Mars and a nuclear logo inside of that. Mm-hmm. I still don't know. It's been a few years now. I still don't know what toxic masculinity
means
is.
The Martians are evil?
I don't know what it means. I just think women are confused and don't like men. And they don't understand their own attraction or lack of attraction to men. I don't get it.
They don't understand themselves either.
Well, to be fair, I don't think men understand their attraction to women, but they're not like trying to hate them. They're not trying to say women are bad. They're not saying women are evil. They're saying women are women, men are men, and that's how it goes. And we don't have to argue about the details. We can laugh about them and poke fun at each other. But as soon as you start giving an ideology of something that is just trying to take apart society, you're like, wait a second. Are there really a bunch of men trying to break women's backs or put them down? I really don't think that's the case these days.
Maybe in Qatar.
Maybe in Qatar? Maybe because of slavery? I don't know.
They take away immigrant workers' passports.
Well,
They can't do anything then, and they're not very well paid.
If there was a certain logical test or argument or experiment, we can say, okay, this is where women's behavior or women's lifestyles get better when men don't do X. I'm like, okay, we can do tests like that. We can certainly observe the household of thousands of people, and they can fill in forms, or we can put them through questionnaires, and we can do all sorts of surveys, which would be objective and pretty non-biased. So I don't know why these studies haven't been done to show that feminism, or this flavor of feminism, which points the blame or whatever the problem is with women to men. Like this is the problem I'm seeing as a whole, that there's all these feminists pointing the finger and going, because of you, we are not getting X. And I'm like, what?
It's this ideology is, and I know you know the drill. This ideology is exploiting the emotional immaturity of these women. It's exploiting their narcissism, because it tells them, oh, you are not responsible for your problems. It's this other group, the men, that are all responsible for all your problems. And if they weren't there, if they weren't the way they were, you would be way more awesome. They wouldn't hold you back and all of that. It's appealing to narcissistic tendencies. Instead of making them grow up, it keeps them weak and immature and to the point of infantile in some cases. If you want to be a respectable woman, you have to outgrow that nonsense and actually stand on your own. But feminism doesn't want you to stand on your own two legs. Feminism doesn't want you to be strong and independent, because if you're actually strong and independent, why do you need feminism still?
I thought that was the major driver in the 70s and 60s for women to be independent and strong and not requiring the support of others and being their own character in the society.
But the movement realized that, if they all become strong and independent, then nobody needs us anymore and we are losing our jobs.
Well, this is part of how the dynamic of the family life, as well as the economic world of mortgages, came about. So we have these people making more money, and this is so two-income homes, or whatever you want to call that sort of lifestyle, happening in the 70s and 80s. At that time, interest rates were much higher for good reason. So people were buying mortgages going, oh, we can just afford this. We can just afford 20% or whatever the hell it was back then. It was 25, I think it was even higher in certain cases, because two people are working. And banks took advantage of that. And the mortgage, and people started building houses like crazy. And all this wonderful infrastructure was set up so cities expand very quickly. And now it's like, oh, you have to, now the people or the babies from those families are born, and they now have to adapt to that and say, oh, everyone needs a job now, and everyone needs to contribute, and everyone has to be competitive, and everyone has to live somewhere else now because the city is too big. You have to go to other cities that are closer by or further out because the rent is too high here. So you have all these changes in the economy as a result of more people working, not necessarily technology, not necessarily advocating for an increase in quality of life, but just more people and working. That will translate to higher standards, but there's no correlation. It's just people working in general. So that's where we get these high prices. That's where we get all this competition, people trying hard, which is good and bad for many reasons, but it does drive costs up. It does make prices go up. And with what happened in the 80s, in the 70s and 80s with interest rates were nuts. In case you don't remember stories from that, your parents might have bought, or people you know in the 70s and 80s might have bought mortgages then, how high the interest rates were and how high they had to work for that. And once you had a job, like you had that job for life. So it wasn't just nowadays where you have like multiple jobs throughout your life. I'm impressed with people who have a job more than 5 years at one company. It's like, wow, they really like you. You've done very well for yourself just for sticking in there for whatever you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're highly educated or not. The fact that you stayed there that long, they didn't let you go because of competition or all kinds of changes to workplaces. Anyway, that's what it comes down to in my mind. It all comes down to money. So this sort of argument with women makes me go, what are they really after? Like, what's the problem that they're trying to solve? And I can't quite, as soon as I pinpoint it, I'll be like, all right, now I know why you're so angry or concerned. Because I can never identify the problem And that's why when they attack men, I can say, why are you attacking men? What's the issue? Are you not getting custody of your children? Are you not getting enough money from the divorce? What is happening? I don't grasp. So all their domestic issues can be solved rather simply, unless it comes to divorce, of course. But this is the problem I see. There's no clear understanding of the problem with women that is caused by men. So
what? You still get 1% of all the property, of all the wealth? That's unfair. I need 100%, and then you need to pay me.
I never understood the not the 50-50. I don't know what the exact cutoff was for men and women, depending on who the breadwinner was. But because men and women these days, again, are working their own jobs, I have a few friends like that. They're divorced, and it's messy. Like, it's really messy. It's not clean. It's not like, okay, you're going your way, I'm going my way. We get the kids on the weekend. We alternate. It's not like that. It's very different.
I have to look into it because I may be mixing it up with another country. But I think it's in Germany as well that when there's a divorce and the woman gets a share of the guy's income, that is due to old rules of well, she needs to get the money from you after the divorce still, because she got used to this level of lifestyle, and we cannot allow that she has to suffer a lesser lifestyle now just because of the divorce.
That doesn't seem very logical. Obviously, your lifestyle is going to change if you're breaking up with someone.
Oh no! It means the level of luxury. that's meant with that. And I don't know. It doesn't sound like toxic masculinity or the patriarchy when the courts were operating like that.
Right. So the thing is, this philosophy seems to look at an underlying cause to all these problems, as opposed to the individual of a relationship saying, oh, you know, he's domestically abusing me, or he's aggressive and he takes it out on me, or he's not happy with me. And it's like, okay, is there some inherent genetic thing? Is there some inherent social thing? Is there some weird cultural, like, there's all kinds of possible things which
well, why do these women keep dating these men then?
There's wonderful analyses of men and women behaving in certain stages of their life, and what men are looking for at when they're 19 and what women are looking for when they're 36, and why they behave that way. So there are obviously major differences between the gender or the sexes and how they relate to each other and what they want. And that's, I think, worthy of discussion. But to blame one or the other for an underlying problem is weird when you don't know what the problem you're trying to identify, or you don't even identify with, as causing divorces or causing domestic abuse or causing people to hurt each other for whatever reason. So I want that universal sort of equation to say, oh, men plus this equals that. It's like, okay, great. Now I can see what you're talking about. But we never get that. So anyway, we got Strawman in the super chats. How you doing? Beta, that is all right. That's good enough for me. I have no idea what the problem is yet. What do you call a group of Islamic music lovers? The Taliban. Okay. What? Instead of Taliban?
Get it?
Taliban? The band. Taliban.
Oh. Yeah, you didn't get it.
Well, you have to spell it out.
Yeah, it's like, what do you call a group of Islamic music lovers? The Taliban.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. It's like, screw you.
Anyway.
It was 2 days ago. This is fucking sense of humor.
This video is 11 minutes. It's going to be pretty bad, I assume. So, let's go.
Oh, yes. It will be bad.
Not men will click away from this video about toxic masculinity, because we know that men are also hurt by sexist gender roles and a lack of gender equality. From small things like having to pretend you like BattleBots to...
I love BattleBots.
Pretend? Wait, can we hear this again? Because
what the hell is gender equality?
We were all talking in the beginning. I couldn't hear what she was saying.
Right, try again.
Yeah.
Not all men will click away from this video about toxic masculinity, because we know that men are also hurt by sexist gender roles.
Such as? Sexist gender roles. What's a sexist gender roles that hurt men?
She means stereotypes or archetypes.
Oh, so
I actually don't mean archetypes. What they're actually complaining about is not stereotypes, but archetypes.
So,
because we know this is all... We have the statistics for, I don't know, 100 years now.
Okay, so let's take...
and a couple thousand years of observation.
Let's take an obvious one in writing. The hooker with a heart of gold. That's a negative stereotype, I'd imagine. The gold digger. There's another feminine one that's negative.
That's not a stereotype. That's a predator.
Well, there's many kinds of predators for sure. There's men the same way. We have men that chase after rich women.
I honestly think that the term stereotype with gold digger is the wrong term.
Okay.
Because it defines a certain and very predictable, if you know what you're looking at, behavior and pattern of behavior. That's not a stereotype. That's just a certain kind of person that acts a certain way. A stereotype is a stereotype. Stereotype is an amalgamation of attributes about a certain group. Not all women are gold diggers. I'd say even not even the majority of women are gold diggers, thankfully.
So we look at let's say the Don
ones
Juans,
that are
or
acting all the exact same,
or the charmers, the womanizers. Like there's all kinds of negative stereotypes with men on how they behave and act for the purposes of gratification or whatever you want to call a night out with one random lady. So yes, there are behaviors that we don't really like in general with men and women, but at the same time, if you're talking about the dating game, we still look to these people saying, okay, a woman who knows what she wants doesn't fool around. So she doesn't play the game. The man has to play the game because women don't even bother if they know what they want. And men are like, well, I got to, try my luck. I got to roll the dice every time. So that's just the social nature of, and I hate saying the term social nature, but that's what we've done to ourselves, whether it's natural or not, to say that men have to pursue women. We have a lot more motivation to do so. We get aroused more easily than women do. And we should be, therefore, the one with all the energy to go out and prove to ourselves or prove to others as well that we are worthy of their time and their attention.
Wait, we get more men get more easily aroused?
I would say so, yeah.
I doubt that.
If that were not the case, the women would be pursuing you.
No. The arousal in women just works different.
Okay, but we're trying to measure the amount of testosterone in the bloodstream or androgens in the bloodstream, right? Unless there's another form of hormone that causes arousal.
They would be the dominant ones then. Otherwise, you agree?
Yeah,
with
but I'm confused. You don't measure arousal through testosterone, do you?
It is part of the arousal. It is not the predominant androgen for arousal. Like
in men maybe, but I doubt women have a testosterone release because they can't have a testosterone release really.
They have a comparative speaking, but that obviously it's much lower in women. But like things like oxytocin is an example. There's another one. What?
Oxytocin release you get in both sexes as well. A man just needs to touch a woman's soft skin, and that induces a chemical bonding reaction in the man.
Right. I'm saying
that's why when you are trying to break up with a horrible girl, she will try to pursue you and always want to touch you. Never let her touch you because that's gonna fry your brain. The manipulative ones know that. They may not know the mechanics of it, but they know that it works through trial and error. I would have guessed. So I would need to read up on this, of course. But I would guess. I would assume that arousal is measured with other factors like pulse, transpiration, and body temperature, and all of these easily measurable factors.
Oh yes, but when we talk about male orientation and male arousal, testosterone is always the predominant hormone.
Yeah, of course, men are more aroused. If we look at male arousal, men will have more of that than women because women are not men.
Well, that's what I mean. Like we talk about men with low libido, and they usually have low levels of testosterone. So there is definitely a connection between the hormones in the male body as opposed to the hormones.
Yeah, but that is so sexual arousal, yes.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Yes.
I'm not talking in general. I'm talking specifically arousal in the sexes. They say, I want to have sex. I want to pursue a woman, or whatever. It's the men doing that job. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but that process works neurochemically, chemically different in women. They're not less aroused than men. I wouldn't say so. Or maybe I've just met too many emotionally crazy girls that just you sit with them in an Irish pub, the karaoke night, which is frying my head because it's so fucking noisy. And I know both of the girls in the group we were with, so it was our dojo group. They were both in relationships. One allegedly married. I think she lied about it because she just made up stories about everything. There was the green-haired monster that I kept referring, and the other one was in a allegedly what do we call that? A solid relationship. And both of them kept talking incessantly about all the guys in the room they found hot and made advances and movements and the flirting around into the room and blinking their eyes. And they were constantly high on arousal. They went to that pub not to have a drink, not to have a chat, but to ogle at the men while they were in relationships.
It just sounds that they were horny.
Well, yes. To claim that women are some wonderful, holy, pure thing by definition is bloody insane.
No, I don't think anyone's saying
and it's
that.
the worst of women that hide behind that lie.
Yeah, no, women do get aroused. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying there's a certain formula that is a little unknown to most people and how that works. In my case, when I talk to ladies, they are attracted to intelligence. Now, not all ladies are. They like to talk. They like to socialize. If you can make them laugh, you can show off how smart you are, how clever you are. They really appreciate that. And having some social skills is what they are drawn to, the same way men are drawn to the visual aspects of how a woman looks and tries to be attractive. So yes, we are attracted to different things. We are aroused by different things. And our rates of arousal, I would say, because they are dependent on visuals, and of course how a woman sounds is part of that. But it starts with the visuals for men, and then we get...
It also starts with the visuals for women.
Oh,
they
yes.
just look at different things because...
But it's not as intense, I would say. It's not as visually specific.
You need to meet these retarded girls.
Okay, I mean...
And there's tons of them. It's not just these two. There's tons of them. And all they do is ogle about the looks.
We would have.
They don't even want to know anything about the guys. They just want to ogle them and imagine having sex with them.
We would have to measure something like a galvanic skin response, like something simple, because we wouldn't be taking their blood every time. Like that'd be silly. So we'd have to do something with an EEG, I guess, monitor or a galvanic skin response test to show like various visual stimuli and see how that works. And that's pretty simple to do. I think I've actually...
If they were caked up with makeup, you could probably just have a camera read their faces all the time and check for changes in skin tone through blood circulation.
It wouldn't be that complicated. I don't think we have to... You test for one variable, then you try another variable, and you keep going. But I
think that's less complicated than testing for blood.
Well, the blood, it would be checked for levels of whatever's your body's pumping out. So that's fine, but we don't have to go that far, I think. We can isolate basic things like aesthetics and say this, like do the face experiment from 20 years ago at UFT, I remember that, where they asked men and women what looks more attractive. And both men and women answered that it was the female face, female features of the face, not male features, not masculine features.
Yeah, so, which is why the majority of consumers of lesbian porn are women, regardless of whether they're homosexual or not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's because it's more pretty.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to keep rambling on about hormones if we don't shut up. So let's keep going.
I disagree, but let's continue.
It's a new record, not even 10 seconds.
Okay.
Video.
Vladimir Dragonoff again. What do you call a Muslim mermaid? A torpedo.
Can you shut up about these jokes, please? Dude? Let us get with the video.
Okay.
We do a little trolling.
Why is everyone? We went yesterday. Everyone was sending donations, and now everyone's sending super chats. What the hell is? What is happening?
No, gotta balance it out, Smud. Come on.
That's like having your own mom and pop shop where you're the sole worker, and you always make an average amount a week, and you always have this one super strong day and this one super weak day. Like one day you make your $300, or 700 or whatever your business makes, and it's a really strong one. And another day it's like 0 or 10 or something.
It's like, guys, use Streamlab. Smud gets more of the money that way.
Yeah, and the moment the day you had your strong day, and sometimes it's the Wednesday, sometimes it's the Tuesday. But when your strong day was the Tuesday, okay, Wednesday will be shit. I can just put up my legs.
Well, it's supposed to do with all the people from months and months ago who kept throwing money at the screen for our hijinks, and they've either Mike Testa either started saving his money properly. Well, he told me he maxed out his credit card, so it's like, all right, it's probably not a good idea to do that ever again. So
it was a business expense.
I don't know. Maybe he had to spend some money for tax purposes. That's probably a good move on his part. Mike Testa is one of those crazy geniuses we don't understand. So there's a method behind the madness. He just doesn't explain it to us.
He learns everything that he needs to know from Ruby.
That's
how he became a genius.
Ruby.
Mike Testa is a good alien.
That's why I that's why I donate like once a week, because I get paid every week.
Anyway,
I would have donated, but I just brought groceries today. So.
Groceries are more important. Yes, very good.
Sorry,
but I'm already in here, so.
All right. Anyway, super chat from Francis. Thank you, Francis Borticopla. Wisp, can you say where are your papers?
In German or in
why would you ask Wisp to do that?
Historical reasons.
Oh, well, that's not nice.
Just say it in English and let's move on.
Where are your papers?
There you go. That's all. That's what he asked.
I no carry, no ID.
Where are your papers?
Shut up, Eric.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
And a lack of equality. From small things like having to pretend you like BattleBots to pretending you have allergies every time you watch the
No, you do not need to pretend you like BattleBots.
Who watches the...
If you like BattleBots, you like BattleBots. If you don't like BattleBots, you do something else that interests you. Who made up this shit? Whoever made up this shitty claim that you have to pretend to like something that you don't when you are a boy or a girl.
I don't know.
You have to pretend to do that.
Well, I can understand as a kid, right? Because you don't want to give the impression that you're the gay or something. But
I do remember.
BattleBots is something 6-year-olds are into.
Well, I do remember.
I know. I'm just saying, as kids, that's the kind of weird thing that happens. But when you're an adult, you grow out of it.
Well,
hopefully,
in some cases, women do enjoy reading about romance novels and watching romance TV. And I have not seen The Notebook.
Twilight.
Well, Twilight's a little different. It's It's not for
Twilight is
everyone.
under direct.
It's very popular.
Team Jacob.
Yeah. But you do things with your loved one, as we've seen before and heard of. Maybe you've done it yourself with your girlfriends or boyfriends that they want to do a certain thing you're not too interested in, but you go along because you love them and you don't care what you're doing.
Yeah, but that is not pretending that you like the thing.
Right. Exactly. You're saying, oh, you like horses. Well, I don't really care much for horses, but you know what? Let's go watch some movies about horses or some productions with horses. Why not? Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's like when people have kids, and then the kids are interested in something, and the parents think, "Oh God, I hate that. That's boring." But I support my kid here. I'll help you.
So we just paused on the part of the conversation where she says real traumas that can lead to things like mass shootings. And whenever you look at the mass shooting numbers for where these people came from, it's usually single-parent households. And in those cases, they were women-parent households.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in general, it is neglectful parents. Like the ones we've had in Germany, they usually had both parents, but it was complete neglect.
Yeah.
No, guys, it's always the violent video games, don't you know?
Yeah, that's always the excuse.
Yeah, video games, men's fault.
The violent video games,
The violent rock music that people listen to.
Yeah, that too. Okay, moving on.
All right.
To real traumas that can lead to things like mass shootings. We're talking about the men and the white supremacists who suffer from, perpetuate, and prey.
You're insane.
I'm sorry, but this is the part in the video where I had to go out because if I don't watch it with you guys, I'm never gonna finish it.
Yeah, because you have to because you have to pretend to like BattleBots, which no one forces you to. You're becoming a school shooter.
Wait, so white supremacists prey on toxic masculinity. I want to know what a white supremacist is and how they prey on it.
So wait. So because you do not like something classically masculine, like BattleBots, you're gonna do something classically associated with also masculinity, which is big guns, shooting, killing people.
BattleBots isn't even manly; it's childish.
Maybe
yeah, but it's cool childish.
I
wanted to do that in Germany. I think they only had 2 episodes, and then it was cancelled because the censors decided that this is way too violent.
Really?
Yes.
It's just machines beating each other.
Yeah, no. BattleBots, Robot Wars, or what all these shows were called, they didn't run in Germany. Like I remember having seen, I think, 1 or 2 episodes or something on a pseudo science shows that show. Oh, well, in America they're doing this thing, and I thought, I want to do that. I want to build robots. This is amazing.
It's a combination of
tech. I love the tech stuff, and there were parents building the robots with their kids. I would have loved to build a robot with my dad, or with the teacher, and it's the whole class or the school club that builds the robot, and they're there and they're doing it together with the kids. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and in Germany, this perpetuates violence, so we must censor it from TV.
You don't even have to be in an engineering program to get into electronics and mechanical stuff. You could just pick up all kinds of stuff from your hardware store and just start soldering it together and seeing how do I make a circuit? How do I have a radio signal sent through this pipe so I can actuate an arm or connect a diode together to get the right energy level to power a motor. Like these are fun problems to get through. And for someone who likes to construct stuff, this is like amazing. This is really fun. And people get into engineering because of that sometimes, but not necessarily.
Yeah. And but
BattleBots specifically, they're literally just literal piles of scrap metal beating each other.
Yeah.
How is this? What is this?
Because the censorship focus between America and Germany is very different. And they're both hypocritical, of course, but they're not applied in an equal fashion or in a consistent fashion. The American focus is on sexuality censored out of everything. Well, until now, where we have all the social justice pedo shit in cartoons for kids. But generally, sexuality, sex, anything was censored out in American censorship. In German censorship focuses on violence. Sex is not that important, but violence is censored out really hard here. That's the big great evil.
There's like literal mountains of metal and garbage. That's a Grand Canyon's worth of difference, my friend. They censored out so much, like when the German TV usually gets the already butchered American versions of anime, where already a lot is missing, and in the German version there's then cut out even more that the German censors then don't like of what is left of it. Like the German version of Mononoke Hime is incomprehensible. There are key scenes missing because the violence is out. It's just, there's a lot of violence in that kids movie. Like where the head is flying off of the wood, the forest spirit, where people are shot, where limbs are cut off. It's all out. It's all cut out. It's gone. I mean, I just find it ironic whenever like Christian figures over here in America complain about that kind of violence when they. I should know there's as much, if not worse, in the Bible.
Oh yeah,
and I should know.
Yeah, we should make a censored version of the Bible where every mention of sexual acts, even when it's condemned, it's censored out, and everything of violence is censored out. I'm pretty sure it will be a very, very quick read after that. The whole of Leviticus will be thrown out, for one.
Yes.
And then you have when Dragon Ball Z aired in Germany. There were episodes, and I know there are parts that are especially drawn out because the manga ran out, but it was unbearable. Like you had from the original length of the episodes, the actual content now was cut down to about 10 minutes, and it was filled out with 5 to 10 minutes of recap and of what's the other thing called at the end of the episode?
Oh,
like the previews.
Well, no, it's
the preview of the next episode. So it was 10-minute recap of the last episode. That was 10 minutes long. 10 minutes episode. 10 minutes preview of the next episode. Kind of like that. I'm generalizing here, of course. And then of course you had 2 5-minute breaks in there. For ads.
Yeah, the commercials, yeah.
It was unwatchable.
Well,
still it got big here
during the 90s.
That, because kids don't have standards.
We had North America, you always had to have the PSA because they felt that kids are watching these weird shows. They should have some sort of moral lesson at the end because not every story has a moral lesson in them, so they have to make one. So for Sailor Moon,
or it's not clear enough.
Yeah, well, sometimes they do have one, but they still have to do the message. The funny thing is, they have to make up a message by interpreting the show weird. So it was in Sailor Moon, they had an ending called Sailor Says, where they just make up a bunch of scenes like by chopping up the show and just don't take candy from strangers or whatever the bullshit. I was like, what the hell? Oh, there's a van in the show. Oh, that's why. Okay, yeah.
But that's funny. She will take candy from strangers because she's a dunce. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Oh god, I remember at this horrible Sonic cartoon that at the end was Sonic Says in German too.
Adventures of Santa Hedgehog, yeah.
Yeah, and I found that so completely, and I was still a kid at the time, but I still found it immersion breaking. Like, why is this here? Yeah. This is stupid. It makes no sense.
That's mainly why.
One moment it's about Robotnik's penis. The other is about Sonic telling you not to climb in a dishwasher.
Oh, yeah. No, washing machine.
Washing machine, yeah. But
it's like that's
every year one child dies because of this.
Just to say this quick, like that's partially why
Sad AM was that much better. It's like it just lets the message play out in the actual episode. It doesn't need to like hammer it in.
Yeah, but Robotnik isn't working his ass. Why am I watching that show then?
Anyway, here is Hall of Cost Memorial. Thanks for the donation. This woman is as mad at BattleBots as Wisp gets when you call it a toilet instead of a poopin' fartin'. Also, when boys are into classically boyish things, they become healthy adults. When they don't, they become adult Steven Universe fans. That or Movie Bob. Oh.
Quick note on Sad AM before we move on. Jim Cummings voices Robotnik in that show.
Oh.
This is a reminder.
Cool.
Yeah,
he was meant to be the original one as well, but he was cut in last.
Yeah, I'm at least glad they gave it to him at some point. He did a damn good job. Yeah. But anyway.
Also, let's go.
The word is Toilette or Scheißhaus.
All right.
Okay.
Trey, toxic masculinity.
Oh, that was only the intro.
Oh, God.
It's not an easy time to be a man. Women's marches, the Me Too movement.
We don't care.
I can see how some men might feel lost when it comes to knowing the role they play, or might feel like the tree.
The role they play.
Why would we need to care about this?
Yeah, it's not our issue. We don't.
Yeah.
Why would we need to care about any of this crap?
It's just.
We already know what we got to do.
I'd say this is corporatized narcissism or capitalized.
No, this is retardation.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. But the people who organize all of this activist crap, they make tons of money off of the useful idiots that run around on the street feeling oppressed because they're told they're oppressed. So
and they're not.
It's a very capitalist business strategy. Telling a mass of people, hey, you have a problem, did you know? Oh, I didn't know. Tell me about the problem. Yeah, and I can tell you more about it and tell you how to solve it if you give me money. Oh, yeah, take my money. Oh, and you should tell at least 10 of your friends to also join us and give us money. It's a Ponzi scheme, for fuck's sake.
All right. Well, I don't know what this is a picture of. She says it's a treehouse, but it looks like a. I guess there is a tree there. Yeah. Okay, she's right. Yeah, there's a tree.
Is it burning?
Very elaborate. It's a big box on a tree, but it seems like the tree is dead or something. I don't know. Also, a worse company in the chat asking what that emotion was on her face when we were talking. Also, this one fits too as well. It's condescension. Anyway.
The House of Victimhood has a sign on it that says, "No boys allowed." The truth is...
The Treehouse of Victimhood has a sign on it that says, "No boys allowed."
It's not wrong.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't grasp what you're saying, lady, but okay.
Man, you've been in the treehouse this whole time. Your side just has a roof and a PS4.
Awesome. Let's stay there.
What?
This is just okay. This is pure agitation and propaganda because she's not substantiating any of her claims.
Well, I don't think she's making.
This is just pure division. This is pure division.
Describing men in one category as being in this happy place, which is awesome, and women on marches, and you're like, okay, well.
Yeah, and dear chat, most of these AJ Plus productions of this style, they all have the askew camera. It's because they're hip and young generation.
They used to be hip with it.
I like the idea of being a kid in a treehouse playing PS4. I think that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, you just shouldn't leave it there when you go back to your parents.
Take it with you.
Yeah.
Because men suffer from patriarchy in similar and yet very different ways.
Men suffer from... Really? I thought women...
Why do we keep it then? What? who keeps the patriarchy alive? Who does that?
It's bad
why?
For everyone.
If we all suffer from it, why are we keeping it? Who makes us? Please tell me.
The secret cabal of men are bringing other men and women down, and no one knows the men are also suffering from it.
Is this some kind of plot from Deus Ex? Is this what the Illuminati was playing all along?
This is the kind. This is such stupid agitation and propaganda that I would expect it to be in a video game as a satire of this. Because if you have an ounce of a brain, you couldn't take this shit seriously. But if you're emotionally immature, and this is all appeals to emotion, everything we got here was appeals to emotion. It's not, there's no rational thought in this. It's all appeals to emotion, which means it appeals to a lower level, a lower order of consciousness that is still in development, that hasn't made it to adulthood yet, which means, as I keep saying, it's appealing to narcissism, because narcissism is solely emotional thinking for the most part.
We have two boogeymen. We have the idea of toxic masculinity, which she hasn't defined at all. And now we have a patriarchy, which is hurting everyone, not just women, which I really want to know where she's pointing to, because I am lost.
She's not. She's either making dumb jokes or she's an idiot.
It's just buzzwords. It's buzzwords to scare you.
Yeah.
Scary words.
Even if there was such a thing as toxic masculinity, like shitty behavior, how does it create an oppressive system where women can do better than men in some areas?
For no reason.
Financially, too. I mean, whatever.
All right.
It's an insane belief system.
He is.
What about all the boys who are profoundly affected in a negative way by what some adult man is doing?
Anti-sexism educator. That's great. Okay.
This guy, why is...
I know what's going to come up in the suggestions.
So this gives him credence because he's a man? Is that it?
Because he's a victim of toxic masculinity, speaking out against toxic masculinity.
Against the thing that doesn't exist?
So we can all be better.
Isn't that always funny? You know, men speak out against other men. We have to take that seriously. But when the woman does it, right? She's strong and independent, speaks against feminism. We got to bring her down. It's not true. She's lying.
A traitor.
Yeah, exactly. Always this bullshit over and over again.
Yeah, like Ilhan Omar told Ayan Hirsi Ali, victim of female genital mutilation by her wonderful Somali Islam crap that she fled from, when she is talking critically about feminism. She is for women's rights, and she also speaks out against the bad Islamic practices. So, logically speaking, I mean, it's lacking in words here. Fucking hell. And Ilhan Omar said to this genitally mutilated woman that they should have she doesn't deserve her vagina at all. They should have taken the whole thing. And Ilhan Omar is an icon of the left in the United States. She's part of the squad together with AOC. This is what feminism.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, this is what feminism in the West is really about. It's just a tool for power, nothing else.
Yep.
And reasonable. It will always attack reasonable people, because reason is as much the one thing that will tear all of this socialist crap and the feminist crap down, as reason tears down fundamentalist churches.
All right, so some man is doing against their mother. Okay, I mean, there are some antisocial sons that have caring mothers. This is true, but I wouldn't blame sexism. That's strange.
Yeah, but in some cases, too caring. Then let him do shit.
Well, there's lots of reasons why you have negative opinions and reactions to people. So whether it's son or daughter or mother and father is kind of insignificant, but I want to know what they're getting at here. If it's sexist related, like, why would a man who has a mother dislike their mother on the basis of sexism? Like, what is going on there? Is it
eventually Like if you're a good parent, your kid's gonna probably hate you. Okay, that's just how it works.
Well, no, I mean, like, is it because you grew up with a very aggressive father and you're taking the role of the dad, or that's what you were taught, or like what?
Well, that could be, yeah. But
I mean, yeah, there's lots of reasons. So I'm like, how is that sexist though? That's just having an abusive father or an angry father or whatever. So
person abuses me. I want him to stop, or her. Does it really matter what the sex is?
No.
All right, let's go.
Against their mother, themselves, their sisters. What are those boys? What about all the young men and boys who have been traumatized by adult men's violence? You know what? The same system that produces men who abuse women produces men who abuse other men.
Damn.
Shut up, you stupid cunt.
How is that sexism?
We deal with the courts deal with abusive men rather efficiently. You just need to look at the difference numbers between men in prison and women in prison. What we do not deal with is what this asshole glosses over and then pushes aside is abusive mothers. Because most, I think it's over 60% of child abuse, that includes sexual child abuse, but it's all child abuse. 60% of it is done by the mother alone. The other 40% involve other people and often the mother as well. The amount where it's just the father is actually just a fraction of this.
Barely anything.
It's atrocious and horrible, and maybe due to so much single motherhood that may also skew the statistics towards more abuse by mothers, because when there's only the mother as the parent, yeah, of course, then it's more likely that parent is going to be the abusive one because the other's not even there. Okay, I would give you that on that statistic. However, we have a problem in addressing abusive mothers or female abusers in general. Because everyone will protect them, everyone will dismiss that it's an issue, and will even try to turn it on you, project the problem onto you, gaslight you. If your abusers are female, you depending on what country you're in, and it's most countries in the West, I would say, you're quite in a pickle.
Okay.
And now I have to listen to her psychological bullshit abuse here, where she's gonna tell me that, the abusive fathers, yeah, they exist, sure, yeah. But the emotional abuse is mainly done by mothers. So shut the fuck up, you stupid cunt.
Damn. If that guy gave locker room pep talks, there would be no more locker room talk. He's right. Women and men are both victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. And men are the ones who are more often the perpetrators towards everyone.
Liar!
So if we know what we have in common, what are the problems that are unique to men? While women...
Liar! Especially with infant abuse. That's women. And when it's infant sexually abused, it's also women.
There's a term for it, right? I keep forgetting that. Wasn't it like
when you define a way that sexual abuse is only when someone sticks something into an orifice of yours, yeah, we dismiss the whole thing where a woman forces you to be erect and then sits on your penis. Because that's solely a physical thing. You do not even need to be awake for that to happen. Where do you think this whole thing, this whole succubus demon mythology comes from?
Women are told to be that they're too emotional, and that they already have 3 crop tops exactly like that. What are the messages that men and boys get?
Growing up as a boy, we was taught that men had to be tough, had to be strong, had to be courageous, dominating, no pain, no emotions.
Doesn't need to be dominating, but courageous.
Of anger and definitely no fear.
No fear. Well, I guess that explains my older brother's fashion choices in elementary school. Also his crippling depression.
And since
oh my god. she
You're
cracking jokes.
You made a joke about your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had a t-shirt and he's depressed. What a weirdo. Like,
wow. Well, you're such a great sister, you little piece of bitch. Oh my god.
Piece of bitch.
You know, being strong and courageous is something that women
right now because I would never put my sibling like that up there. Just so I can make a joke and make some sort of point for people to learn and spread to the world.
Yeah, most of the things listed that were just listed are things you would teach any child, boy or girl. Be courageous. Isn't that what feminism wants of women? To not be damsels in distress? Yeah, how are you not a damsel in distress? Be strong, be courageous, face your fears. That doesn't mean you have no fear. Having no fear is a retarded thing. Because fear is what tells you what's dangerous and what to avoid and where to be cautious. But if you never engage your fear, it will cripple you, it will paralyze you. You keep the fear as a guidance system, but you learn to overcome it when necessary. That's how that is courage. You overcome the fear. You control it. You know it's there as your guidance system, but you are not paralyzed by it.
And since the plebs among us still watch commercials. Yes. Yes. People watch commercials. That's how marketing works on TV and online.
Yeah, no shit.
The plebes among still watch commercials. We know that real men should shave like a man, smell like a man.
Not necessarily.
It's a joke, though.
Not necessarily.
Like, what are you talking about?
It's humor.
Men don't want or need to shave unless
Old
they have
Spice
an urge.
is a terrible example. All that guy is like, look at your screen or look at me.
Old Spice sucks as
the
a
whole
product,
meme.
first off.
And then they got Terry Crews, and all he does is yell, "Old Spice body wash, power."
To be honest, it was much better at that.
You know what? There's a reason why. What was the show called? There's a reason why Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends actually did a dig on that kind of product, because it's very clear that they don't work. I'm pretty sure that episode was a dig at Old Spice.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
For anyone that remembers that episode.
It's just, yeah, it's, oh, wow, you're a man. It's just, what's wrong with that exactly?
Let's have attractive men show off products for men. Like, okay, sure.
Oh, cool. Maybe I can be attractive just like that guy.
Yeah. Listen, woman. Just because you are so retarded that you fall for everything commercials tell you and women magazines tell you, doesn't mean men operate the same or grown-up women operate the same as you, emotional retard.
Yes.
I'm done.
It is pretty big sauce even for
wait, are you telling me Red Bull doesn't give you wings?
Red Bull doesn't even make you up, keep you awake.
It doesn't make me fly?
It's just fucking sugar water. Who calls that an energy drink?
It is pretty weak for caffeine, that's true. Anyway.
Yeah, Coke's better.
Well, for different reasons. Anyway.
Costless.
I mean,
I thought you were talking about Coca-Cola. Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about the soda. Fuck you.
Oh.
Anyway, let's go.
Wash like a man / feel like a man, have the essence of man, and if you're ever tempted to drink something unmanly like sangria, instead grab a glass of Adam Carolla's Mangria.
A little red wine.
That sounds
vodka,
gay.
A little orange juice, a little pixie dust, and pow, Mangria. But I'm telling.
So what? He's selling a product.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? I don't know.
I'd rather make
it's better.
I'd rather.
What is it with you people? What is it with your people? Questioning your biological sex by what alcohol you drink. Like not Monday Matt. Gaijin Goomba.
Oh God.
What is wrong with you people?
I went to Japan.
So when
when we were in Majorca or in Greece, that's the drink that's there. Oh, they drink sangria here. I've never had sangria. Okay, we drink sangria. Okay. Oh, that was boring. Now we drink something else.
I went to Japan, therefore I drink like a man.
Yeah, what is wrong with
Japan to commit seppuku?
The people most and the hardest believing in stereotypes is these propagandists, and they teach everyone that listens to this shit to believe in stereotypes. Really, really hard, while themselves believing that they are the ones against stereotypes. And that is the big double thing. They're not aware that they hold these completely contradictory thoughts in their heads.
So, if you guys don't know sangria is, it's basically fruit and wine together. And it's usually done, they brine it for about a day, I'd say, half a day to a day, depending on how strong you want the fruit flavor to come out. But beyond that, it'll start getting a little rancid. But
yeah,
this guy makes a cocktail called Mangria, and that's fine. I mean, good for him. I doubt it's going to be very good, but I'm sure it has its own flavor profile. I just have no clue. So, whoop-de-doo. He makes a product. He's famous. Good for him. Yeah. I just saw Brad Pitt the other day selling another single-serve coffee product. I think there's a bunch of celebrities doing that now, selling coffee makers.
They are.
Coffee is the new symbol of the patriarchy.
Oh, yeah?
Freaking Walter White and Jesse Pinkman are selling tequila now.
Oh, you're kidding.
They went out of the meth business. Yeah, no, it's called Dos Hombres. They even opened the bar. It's great.
Oh,
Dos Hombres?
Isn't that cultural appropriation?
So you sure are you sure Dos Equis ain't gonna go after them?
No, that's fine.
Maybe it's a Salamanca. I don't know.
And by
brew.
Yeah, by her actual sexist stereotyping standards, and by Gaijin Goomba's sexist stereotyping standards, in Germany we have lots of very interesting berry wines, and you can get them at various markets. You can make them yourself, and by these people's standards, those, I guess, would be considered feminine drinks. Yet everybody loves them because they have all these various interesting tastes.
Well, there's a big culture, especially in Europe, for summertime wines, and the translation in Western world is wine cooler, but in reality, it's just a rosé, and a rosé is just a red and a white wine combined, but they're relatively cheap. They're relatively not that strong, and it's popular. It's the summertime thing to do at a beach, on a cafe, on the veranda, whatever. So everyone who drinks wine, who likes wine, says that stuff is like soda pop to them because it's so weak.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the classic grape wine. I mean berry wines from whatever you can find in the forest. But there's sometimes trouble stuff in them. I'll give you a website later.
Sure, but the point is that this is all a fad. This is all a popular thing that to sell.
No, these are strong. These are strong.
Oh, the herbal stuff is very strong, yes. But yeah, grape is pretty ubiquitous throughout Europe and North America and, well, even South America. It's pretty much everywhere. So grapes are everywhere, yeah. Anyway, sour fruit juice is not a big deal.
Yeah, good for what ails you.
Because whatever it is that ails you now, tomorrow what ails you will be the worst hangover ever.
From a sangria?
That's because you don't know how to drink.
Who the hell gets buzzed on sangria?
Arabs would never drink.
Yeah, they just chug this stuff. It's so fruity.
Maybe if this is the first alcohol they ever had.
All this sugar, all this alcohol. I'm crazy. I gotta drink 2 jugs.
Look, it's very simple.
It's like 10%, maybe less. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's very simple. In vino veritas, in aqua igitigit.
Oh, thank you. All right. Anyway, you can barely get buzzed on sangria unless you drink like, I don't know, 2 liters maybe.
A gallon of it.
Well, there are some limits depending on how much sugar you put in, but it really depends on the first wine you use. But the wine is usually very weak to begin with, so it's not a big deal. It's always white wine, to my knowledge. There are some red sangrias, of course, but what's the point? Just have the red wine. Don't ruin it.
I drank all this mangria. Dr. Drew, put me back on Love Line. Thank God those messages just come from commercials and not the news.
Funny.
I have some hard and fast rules for the way men should dress. No open-toed shoes, no jewelry other than a wedding ring or a watch, no highlights, and no makeup. And I am sad that we live in a culture where I actually need to articulate these.
Good for her. She knows what she likes. Who cares? That's her opinion. I mean, good for her. If women like a certain thing, ladies, there's a guy out there for you. Believe me, there is. Or if you tell them, they will transform into the guy of your dreams. It's not hard. Put on some makeup.
Sure.
Wear some funky looking shoes. Whatever. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Wait, what was she saying? Sorry, I just made some tacos, so I'm kind of
she doesn't like
a little bit. But what was she saying?
She doesn't like jewelry on a man. She doesn't like sandals, and she doesn't like makeup on a man. It's like those are all relatively normal. I don't see a problem. But if it was,
what's wrong with it?
Yeah, if it was the exact opposite, I'd be like, so yeah, and
okay, cool. You like your men. You like your guy a little feminine, but I don't know.
You like your men normal.
Yeah, I mean, this is her. She's attacking Fox News person who has an opinion on her taste. It's like, who cares? Good for the girl on Fox News.
First of all, who cares about Fox News?
Well, that's because she is not into Fox News. Therefore, it's bad because a girl has an opinion which is specific. It's like, a woman giving you her opinion on anything that she is attracted to is like, guys, take notes. If you care about this person, just write it all down. Okay. Don't question it.
Yeah.
Don't try to analyze it. Just say, oh, she likes horses. Okay, horses. And you say, what about horses? What can you tell me? Can you tell me more about?
You want to play some Red Dead?
Maybe that could come. Maybe that's a conclusion you can come to. But you want to get as much information out of that lady when she's sharing you her secret, because women don't do that too often.
Right.
You got to figure that out. You got to coax it. Do you really actually like what we're doing right now? Do you want to do more? Do you want to do this? Do you want to go over there? I don't know because I'm just guessing with you. You haven't told me what you like. So you really need to throw darts at a board with some ladies, and sometimes they don't even know. So that's why if you're dating, gentlemen, if you're dating in general, do everything you can. Walk down the street. Hey, what's that? What's over there? What's that over there? Go check it out.
Maybe stay away from those women that don't know what they want.
Well, it depends on what you're doing with your life at that point in time and why you're going to certain girls. So if you just want to have fun and go bar hopping and she's into that, why not? Who cares? Get plastered. Have a great time. So whatever your exit strategy is for that night or that relationship is your business.
Exit strategy.
Well, if you're gonna get drunk, you got to figure out how to go home. Or
the secret Joe Star technique of running away.
Running away from everything. So, yeah, you got to plan. What I'm saying is plan your evenings out. Get as much information as possible, especially with who you're with, because if you can figure out who you're with,
knowledge is power.
And what I wouldn't go that far. Knowledge is useful.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
better be.
That last video is depressing. But get your information straight, plan it out, and this is how you have fun. You have to figure out how to have fun, because even when you're going to say, I'm going to dedicate 5 hours to playing Kingdom Hearts, and if you love Kingdom Hearts, bravo. But after the second hour, you might get a little bored. You got to take a break. You got to have an alternate plan. You got to take a nap or something, and that's what you do when you.
Or you make a video discussing why it's the best thing.
Why it's the best thing. I got bored on hour 2 because the summon of Bambi was too overpowered. And I felt I wasn't having a good time. Okay.
That's a lie.
I killed Bambi's mother.
To be fair, Smud, you thought it was a girl. So.
I did think Bambi was a girl. It's true.
Well, Bambi was ahead of its time.
The
first trans species.
Trans deer, yeah.
Trans male species, yeah.
trans deer.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh shit! I'm lost now. I'm ordering berry wines. Crap. Sorry, I got distracted.
Must buy wine.
Yeah, but I
commercials
just,
work on Wisp.
I want some Dragon Amber again. It's 12.5%, and it's made. It's the basic recipe is cherries, elderberries, and honey.
Oh God.
I was gonna say you fucking traitor.
It's amazing. And these people, these assholes here, they would call this a feminine drink. Dude, this stuff is people drink it at not just golf parties, at metal festivals and everywhere, and you all these manly, long-haired Viking metal types. They're drinking this stuff that these assholes here would call feminine drinks.
Yeah, but
you're cheating. Like, you're playing both sides. You can't like say any excuse like why you're drinking this.
Well, yeah, I mean the whole social justice feminism bullshit. It doesn't work on the metal scene in the first place because you have all these long-haired men there that are at the same time, quite manly. But they all have long hair, so and talk about shampoo all the time, and so that's like confusing. I guess to these stereotypists. Oh yeah, well not all the time, but as much as when someone has especially good hair, someone may ask what kind of shampoo do you use?
I want that conversation.
It is important. Your shampoo is very
important. It is. There was a joke about that in Brutal Legend, but it is not made up. These things do happen at metal festivals, especially.
Bar soap.
Really?
Yes. I've had it several times, and I was not the one initiating it. And
no, I was going to say it's like Brutal Legend of all things brings that up.
Yeah, well, it has these super muscular ape-like metal heads with the super long hair.
And Jack Black was the voice, wasn't he?
He was the main character.
He's the main character, yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually get Ozzy Osbourne for that shit too.
Yeah, they got a lot of they got a lot of people voicing for that.
They got Ozzy Osbourne as the guy you buy shit from.
Yeah, and they had Lemmy Kilminster in there. They had what was his name? Guy from he was in two bands. He was in Motley Crue and the other thing. Keep forgetting the name because I'm old. Lots of big metal names in that game, voicing themselves. The story was way too short, sadly. I guess they lacked money, like all of Tim Schafer's products. Anyway, if you want something absolutely breathtaking, amazing, and maybe get your girl in a very good mood, buy some elderberry blossom wine. Because that stuff tastes like French kissing the voluptuous bosom of an elven princess.
Okay. I just got some Bitburger today. $1.90. It's a Pilsner. It's yummy.
That is not. That does not compare.
No.
Does not compare.
Anyway. On with the video.
And also said you articulated those things because they're supremely tone deaf. Forget campus rape.
She's tone deaf because she told the audience what she likes. Wow. Thanks.
Did she just say rape?
Well, we're gonna find out the next idea. She's just jumping around now.
She's just referencing hot topics of the time in the activism circles. At the time, it was the skewed and lied, fabricated, if you will, campus rape statistics like that, where
1 in 4 gets raped for some nonsense,
or 3 out of 4 women on campus have been raped or something.
It was insane. It was just retarded numbers. This was after there was a York University predator that they caught, and they were like talking about stats. I was like, where did these stats come from? Holy crap. That's insane.
Yeah, and part of it comes from them redefining rape to the point of a guy looking at you for too long.
Waiting in line to get into lecture hall. Yeah, it's like, okay, sure. There's 300 people, and like, if it's a math or engineering class, it's like 60% are men. So they're all staring at each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, sure.
And it's the SpongeBob meme with he's standing there menacingly. Yeah. That had a high time back then.
Anyway.
Pay or violence, Birkenstocks are the real enemy. Also, no makeup? Are you not watching the Queer Eye reboot? Episode 1's lonely Georgia truck driver just got a comprehensive skincare routine to tame his redness.
Skincare is not...
That's not makeup.
Yeah.
Fuck?
Never heard of it, don't care.
If you're using any kind of medical ointment or cream, it can have a pleasing scent. It can have, a certain color scheme, but that's not inherently makeup. It's a medicinal...
It just... Well, it depends on your skin, if you should have some.
There's all kinds of natural soaps and ointments that don't have any sort of chemicals in them, and doctors recommend those, but they're essentially just soap. So...
Yeah, and then you have wonderful, scary things like, I don't know how you would translate that, black balm. It smells like tar, and it pulls bad stuff out of your pores.
Yeah,
and I think you can even deal with what I think you call them blackheads in English.
Yes,
I think you can even pull those out of your nose or wherever they are.
Right.
It's just very very. It stinks like mad. It's good stuff, but that's not makeup. That's skincare, like this guy's probably doing here. Woman, what are you? What is even her stance? Is her stance makeup is bad, and why is she wearing makeup?
It's kind of like comparing what an epidermologist recommends compared to the lady at the cosmetics booth. These are very different things.
Anyway. Oh my god! Yeah, this woman's off her rocker. I don't know.
And he is fly.
Yes, control those flare-ups.
Why would you watch that? Anyway.
Because it's interesting.
Because you're gay?
I guess.
The storytelling's complex.
She likes watching it. I wonder why. Okay.
But I thought Qatar hates gay people.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that one of the places where they're from off the roofs?
Based.
Gay kid tells his dad to use skincare. Yeah, okay. That's makeup, I guess.
They must behave in a certain way, but what about the ways they're told to behave towards women?
That men are superior, women are inferior. That men are strong, women are weak.
Why not start with that premise and try and prove it every day instead of just thinking it? Why not say, you know what, you are good. Keep being good. I want you to test yourself every day at being good and strong and honest and nice and do that as a regiment. That's a great lesson to teach people. Don't be pompous about it. Be humble. Say, hey, are you really physically fit? Okay, let's do some runs. Let's do some weights, whatever. It's like, oh, you have to prove that to yourself. Yeah, you got to maintain that. The same with intelligence, the same with manners, your temper, all these things. It's called
the thing here is, self-discipline is one of the things that differentiates you from the immature. And thing here is, yes, women are, on average, quite much weaker than men. On average, physically weaker, yes. Emotionally, well, it can depend on the time of the month. That's different for each woman, because not all are affected by their period as much as others. Some have immense pains as well, which makes them very cranky, which is understandable when you go through the pains of having a kidney stone every month. And the good ones, they are also they apologize afterwards because they understand that it's hard to think rationally and be compassionate when you are in immense physical pain. But that aside, a lot of women are
emotionally weak because they infantilize themselves. And this moderator here in this, or host in this video, she is doing that same thing. She is victimizing the women as weak. She is doing that. She's doing that between the lines, but she's doing it. And when you see yourself as weak, then you will act weak. You will think, because you will think yourself incapable to do anything. And that is what does that. So stop thinking like that, and then you have a chance at growing up. But growing up then means that you will take responsibility for yourself, for your actions, for your decisions, even if they turn to shit. But you will take responsibility for them then and not blame them on other people, like the whole other sex. And here is the last point on that, and that is, yeah, we have these statistics, we have these averages, we have all of these other issues. However, going through life prejudging the other, an individual, by these statistics, that is called prejudice. That would be dumb. That would be wrong. The individual you do not necessarily know anything about. You can learn the markers, the red flags, the whatevers, to have a better estimate of whether this is this type of girl, that type of girl, this type of boy, that type of man. But this is the difference between prejudice behavior, which she is also engaging in, or being an adult and treating people individually. And what social justice wants us to do is to not treat everyone individually, but to treat everyone by stereotypes. However, social justice wants to define new stereotypes that we are supposed to judge everyone by. Social justice wants us to think of all women, without exception, as stronger than men, not just equal, but stronger than men, physically and emotionally, because they can do everything men can do. But it's just a fantasy world. And that's why they keep falling flat on their noses, and then they keep blaming the men that are allegedly holding them down, and we end up with movies like Captain Marvel.
All right. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. We're not even half done. Okay. That's fine. That's good.
That women are of less value.
Yeah, that's your
property
problem.
Of men and objects.
No.
Particularly sexual objects.
Wow.
Remember, this is Qatar funding this. All these things are true in Qatari society. In Islamic society, women are worth less. Women are the property of men. And here, this Qatari funded propaganda bullshit is trying to tell us that we in the West think that. This is projection. But it's deliberate. They know what they're doing. They're fine. In Qatar, they're fine with thinking like this. They want us to feel bad for something we do not even do. So that we speak up even less. So that we are more easily controlled.
And we're not going to talk about the possessive nature of relationships or love or a loving relationship or marriage or a consummate relationship and all these other flavors of types of intimacy that you can get into and what that means and how it means to share your life with someone. Like, these are all very strong things that people go through, and they associate that with possessiveness. But that could be interpreted many ways by the individual. So yeah. That is where the therapist sort of takes their hands off and say, okay, this is your life now. I can't guide you every step. You got to figure out your path with your partner. It's just none of my business. So we can just help you when you fall. We can't, keep you walking. So the idea is that possessiveness is bad when we see it's bad, but there's nothing wrong with having a possessive partner who is respectful and constantly in need of your attention for whatever reason, like what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where do you want? Listening to your interests. Possessiveness.
I'd say it's less of a problem.
I would say possessiveness is normal for a loving relationship. Not like controlling possessiveness, but when I say, this belongs to me, this relationship I put a ring on, that's mine.
Okay.
I have a formal agreement with you. I don't really require a legal document to specify that, but let's, put a ring on it to prove that. And to say, yes, I'm putting my honor and my life in your hands. We are holding each other possessively in this.
Yeah, that's we possess each other.
Right. That's
an equal thing.
Well, hopefully, like you're saying that to them, and they're hopefully saying that to you, and they behave in that similar fashion.
When it's one-sided, that's a bad relationship.
Well, usually, but you could usually tell in a relationship from a personality that this person is completely devoted to that other person, and that other person's kind of goofy and flirty and funny, and they know they're in love, and they're not going to defeat that. But it feels a lot different when you see the simple one-sidedness of that one person, who may be, I don't know, not as affluent or expressive, but they are devoted, and you can tell. It's like, that person is totally into that other person, and that is a normal thing.
Yeah. And on a side note, this video is 3 years old, you said. Was more than 5 years. That's it, 5 to 10 years ago, when all of these organizations started to adding either directly a plus to their names, or setting up an extra service with the plus. Like, this is Al Jazeera. This is not Al Jazeera. This is Al Jazeera Plus. And every time we saw a plus appearing on something that was already an established thing, it became social justice. Hard intersectional social justice. The same happened with the atheism movement in the United States. When atheism turned into atheism plus, it became a quasi-religious social justice pushing cult that ostracized every atheist who wasn't on board with socialism.
I remember that. Yeah, that was
it's quite ironic, and it's also quite sad. And I think this was one of the earliest targets, because the atheism movement in the US, with all its problems, was a bastion of reason. And as I said before, the one thing that is a danger to socialism, because it operates like a religion, is reason. So the first thing you take out is something that has weaponized reason. And so that's gone. And we see a lot of these previous atheist YouTubers, US atheist style YouTubers. A lot of them have turned to social justice and completely gobbled up the pseudoscience propaganda. Some even turn trans when it's obvious that they are not. That they're not having gender dysphoria. And when you hear them talk about it, they just spew the John Money style nonsense. It's scary and it's sad. It's scary crazy, and sad to see atheists who were all about logic and reason and pointing out fallacies in people completely engaged in the stuff now and being disingenuous about the texts of others that are not on board with the social justice nonsense.
All right. Let's get back to...
This is the same way there's a plus at the LGBT.
Let's get back to treating...
That's where you could point... Yeah, but that's where you can point to the rainbow turning into pure pro-socialism.
If only even know there was dinosaurs never died out.
All right, let's go.
And that makes sense if you've watched any TV or movies, since TV or movies were a thing. Men are encouraged to see women as headless body parts, sexy love interests who can and probably should be stalked, conquered.
That was projection. Because if you listen to trans men, women with gender dysphoria who transition into men, they all say, well, when I started naturally passing, nobody noticed me anymore, and I was just a floating pair of arms for people to carry stuff. And nobody cared about me anymore. So this whole headless body parts thing, it is projection again as well. And there's a fun truth about this, because you know what men look first at when they look at women?
Tits.
No.
Feet?
No.
Tits.
No, it's not tits.
Feet.
It is tits.
No, it's
Shut
not
up.
tits. No.
Guys, you
Don't tell me
can't
why.
repeat the same thing over and over again.
Look at the armpit.
Mark, I'm the boob fetishist here. I should know. Faces. It's first face, then tits, then ass, then legs.
Well, I'm a small guy, so I don't see the face.
That's what guys do. Women, when they look at other women, they first check out tits and ass before they check out the face, because they're looking for competition.
Yep.
Men look
Women
first
look
at the face. What?
Tits.
Are you
No.
saying guys look at dicks
No,
whenever there's a competition?
It was baffling. There were amazing experiments done on this. They were quite baffling. The participants weren't told what was actually going on. They were told it was some market research in supermarkets, like at what products they're going to look at, etc. But in reality, they were testing for what are the participants looking at in the other customers in the shop. Where are they looking first? Because you can't tell them what is actually tested because it would skew the test results. So they're telling them something else. And they had some deliberately planted, very good-looking people in the supermarket at the time. And it was completely consistent. Men first look at the faces, and it's women who first look at the boobs and the asses. So it's again projection. It's like every bad thing that women say about men is projection on women's parts. It's mind blowing.
It's just like you're saying that women look at the tits first. I'm like, what? Like, are like they're preferring like lesbians first?
No, it's not. It's not about sexual. It's not about them checking out another sexual partner. It's them checking out a sexual competitor.
It's like animals, yeah.
Yeah. So, that woman has bigger tits than me. She is the enemy.
Proceeds milking.
Well, no, this is what I remember. Even the stories of my mom when she went to Europe and traveled and met people, and she would remember family members who would never have a solid girlfriend. They'd always bring different women home or what have you. And she would remember, this one, she was huge. I'm like, what do you mean huge? Oh, she had giant tits. I'm like, oh, really? Like
your mom told you this?
Oh, well, my mom, she got out and met a lot of people. So she remembers these things.
I'm not judging.
they remember how people look, not necessarily the specific features. Maybe there's like a mole or something they might say that distracted them, but it's in general the figure and form of a person they remember. And for some reason, I don't know why, but women also remember how they were dressed and the amount of effort they put into, like, the dress they wore, the shoes the shoes were beautiful, but they hurt my feet. Like all these little details about getting dressed up to go somewhere and what they had to do to wait to get into line and all the little details of what it felt like while they were wearing this outfit. Because when you're young, you want to look good, you want to go out and have fun. So women are very memorable towards these experiences. And maybe it's similar for men. Men are pretty relaxed in general when they wear clothing. So when they get dressed up, it's like, yeah, whatever. We wore a suit and tie and this and that, but we didn't really care. But we remember how attracted we were to the ladies and what they looked like.
Yeah, the whole self-grooming thing is, in most species, it's the males that look to stand out, and the females look very plain. And in humans, for some reason, it's the other way around.
Anyway,
the women compete with each other in who looks best, and that's what produces this.
Let's get back to the video. I want to see what she has to say here.
Should be stalked, conquered, and kissed, even though they don't want to be. And in practically every coming of age movie, a man's
No. Pepe Le Pew
all of these
is not a good guy. He's not a good role model. Ask any kid, is Pepe the good guy? And the kids will say, no, he's creepy. Well, he's funny, but he's creepy. It's funny because it's a kid's cartoon, but it's creepy because everybody sees how uncomfortable the cat is that Pepe mistakes for another skunk, which she isn't. She's a cat. There's just always some new joke of how she gets the white stripe.
He's not even creepy. He's just a dumbass with that he can't tell.
And then it's funny when the reverse happens because it's like, oh, she finally, fought back or something.
Oh yeah, there was that. I remember there was that one episode, and
also remember that Pepe Le Pew got cut from Space Jam 2, and yet they put the Droogs from A Clockwork Orange, which are like 1 million times worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because these people don't understand anything. They don't have standards.
Even then, it's like these are movies. Like, it's like, oh, it makes you the person based on the movie that you watch.
At this
point, what if I don't watch
any
movies? Am I good then?
Movies aren't just movies anymore at this point. Remember?
Right. Everything's political. Everything has an agenda. Cool.
Unfortunately.
And remember, this is funded by Qatar, the country that forces women to dress up in bathrobes all day long, so that they don't even show hair. But it's the men. The men are bad and controlling and stuff, and fuck off.
Yeah, the men over there, not here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
Is purely defined by whether or not he has sex.
This is our last party as high school.
These are comedy movies.
Come with me on this voyage
comedy,
and just stop being a pussy for once.
These are comedy.
Fuck some girls already.
Yeah,
it's
I
Jonah
got some of Adam
Hill.
Carolla's Mangria because girls can't resist masculine insecurity, blatant misogyny, or vomit. And all of that pressure takes a toll on men.
As a boy, all I wanted was to be
not
this guy.
No,
not this fucker again.
Wait, I vaguely remember this guy.
This guy is the first TED Talk Smudcast I ever did with you guys.
Oh god.
I remember.
Why?
I think this was probably my very first Smudcast, I think. Oh no. Please God no.
He's complaining he didn't want to be the beefcake anymore or some bullshit. You're like, okay.
And he's too famous. He's too successful.
Oh, that's rich.
Yeah. He was complaining that he has it too well.
It's basically an identity crisis on the same level as Steve from Blue's Clues. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that sounds worse.
Remember that?
Yeah, it is worse.
Yeah, this guy was so much worse with that shit.
It's like you're going in just to complain that you're happy. It's like who. That's your problem? You're happy?
I'm just too happy. It's horrible. I need a problem, but I don't want one because it's scary.
It's literally another existential crisis when it makes absolutely zero sense. Dude, you're famous. Get over it.
Women don't see me as a guy. They see me as an object.
Yeah, you're an actor, you fuckhead. You're cast because you look pretty, because the women actually like to look at pretty guys.
Say what you want
Did you know that? It's the female gaze. It's totally sexist. You should complain to the feminists, not join them.
Say what you want about when Steve...
Thank you.
Say what you want when Steve had an existential crisis. At least he had the excuse of thinking of the children. This guy has no excuse whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. And Cyber in the chat said she said something correct, that girls go after bad boys. I didn't hear her say that, but if she said that, yeah, that is true.
It is true.
And there's also lots of analysis on why that is.
That one trait is literally the whole point for why Twilight got popular as it did.
Yeah. Because it plays into the female rape fantasy, which is the key... The main thing going on in those heads, because it is so it's not that they actually want to be raped. What they want is a dominant man or man that dominates them, because that directly translates into strength, confidence, courage, all of the traits you want in a man who, when he thinks, and that even plays into possessiveness. When he thinks of you as his possession, then this kind of horrible man will defend you from other men getting at you. that is the positive part of this insane emotional logic that they're not actively aware of. And then, of course, you have the whole Oedipus complex where they think, "Oh, I can fix him. I can make the beast into a good guy."
And she never did.
And that creates the domestic abuse, and that's why they never leave the guy.
In Twilight, the opposite happens. She becomes a beast with him.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the point?
Well, there is such a thing as a corruption fetish.
That's even worse.
All right. Anyway,
combined with everything else.
Let's hear a little blurb from Justin here.
Liked by the
again.
But that acceptance meant I had to acquire this almost disgusted view of the feminine.
I thought I had to put on a show for everyone. I could not be myself, and I wanted to put on what society said was masculinity.
The fear of feeling anything is if I start crying, I may never stop. I might just cry and cry.
Tell me about it. How do you think we feel when we're PMSing and Toy Story 3 comes on? I have stared death in the face. When all these traditionally masculine traits are...
So you do admit that it's so you do admit that it's a hormonal problem, yes? It's an issue of biological differences where your body goes haywire with hormones.
She's just
so you are a slave to your biology. Is that what you're saying here? Could it be that you're also a slave to your biology in other aspects?
This is just an act. Like, it's just.
Well, she's paid to be outraged here.
Crazy too. She's like trying to make a joke, but the delivery is just intense.
It's
because she's just condescending and insulting. I hope she doesn't have a boyfriend or husband. That poor guy.
Oh boy. Well,
yeah.
I don't think hookers have a husband, really.
There's so much. We're missing stuff where that she's wrong about because it's just so much.
Yeah, trying to be funny with this topic is not a good idea. It doesn't.
Yeah, and as I said, it keeps on just being emotional appeals, emotional extortion, emotional manipulation. There's no substance. It's just buzzwords
to cover it up too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's buzzwords. It's standard headlines. It's basically the memes, not in the funny way, in the original definition of the word. Memes and slogans accumulated into what would you call that? Into a well, this is like it's like a staccato of these compilation, and rattled down in a staccato. It's like an radicalizing sermon. Here, this is all this is all the things that you think, and I'm appealing to it, and I'm radicalizing you by it because I'm giving you the validation of all your thoughts and emotions you already have. This is priming. This is priming the already indoctrinated. I do not know how much this can appeal to people who are not already at least somewhat indoctrinated. But the already indoctrinated will agree to some parts of this, definitely, and the parts that they're neutral on, they will slowly shift towards as well. This is brainwashing.
All right.
Taken to the extreme, you end up with what psychologists and journalists have called toxic masculinity, a specific model of manhood geared towards complete dominance and control that devalues women and emotions and overvalues extreme self-reliance.
Extreme self-reliance?
What's wrong with extreme self-reliance?
Because you don't need feminists?
Well, no. If you want to live by yourself and do so in the woods or, I don't know, outside of, I don't know, pick a really tall building and, buy a condo there and just, I don't know, live your life. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. But thanks for giving us some definition of toxic masculinity. Because this thing keeps changing and means everything and nothing at the same time.
This is
with
new.
This definition. This is somewhat useful. At least the first part that she also has on the screen.
What is useful?
A specific model of manhood. So something very specific, not something broad. geared towards dominance and control. So we could talk about that. I think this would already be covered by certain narcissistic styles, by antisocial styles, which are also present in women, by the way. So it's not a only the sex does it. But
right.
We could use this definition to aim at something. However, we would still end up with, we don't actually have this in the West inherent in our systems and cultures, because we actually look down on people who act like that. And Qatar, do we need to talk about Qatari culture and their politics and how their political system is structured and their religion and all of that?
Let's not get into that, because I don't really care who published this.
It was a rhetorical question.
It's more or less with
psychology,
her outcomes of this definition, which is probably the best definition I've heard so far. Let me just rewind that.
Yeah, but it's one that can be taken apart easily.
Oh, yeah.
That devalues women and emotions and overvalues extreme self-reliance.
So devaluing emotion, I'm not sure exactly what that implies, but I think they're talking about how women are more emotional than men. Therefore, it's bad because it's women?
I would also say this is projection again. Because the same feminists who want men to be more emotionally open and, why don't you just cry? Men don't cry, that's toxic masculinity. And when men then actually do cry, and for very justified reasons, if that happens, the same feminists go on laughing about those weak men crying like babies. Oh, what girls. Oh, what girls.
Yeah, like Will Smith when he cried about his divorce. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, and he still loved that psycho woman. I saw that interview and I thought, rather that live, them trying to talk it out. And I had a lot of respect for Will Smith in that thing. And this woman was just a controlling, selfish, unempathetic asshole. And he still had love for her. But I have a hard time believing that this kind of woman ever had love for him or anyone in her life. Will Smith got shared on for crying there, I think, if I remember right.
All right.
Yeah, or right, Tyler Preston in the chat, the male tears mug. The feminists are the one who came up with the male tears mug, but they want men to cry because men not crying is toxic masculinity, but when they do, they'll drink the male tears. So this is what you would call a double bind. Whatever you do, you're doing it wrong. Whatever you do, you will be punished. This is absolute psychological, emotional abuse. Social justice and feminism is organized psychological, emotional abuse against certain parts of the population.
No, it is. And then that's why the men's suicide rate keeps climbing. There's no help for guys out there.
Yeah. Yeah. And since everyone on the phone thinks I'm a guy, well, I still get, I still get treated like a guy and I'm dismissed.
That's a shame.
And I've noticed this. I can tell you that because I'm, due to the PTSD crap, I can't finish the soul transition crap because I first need to treat that shit because it's too bad. So thanks to my abusers and the flying monkeys, who happen to be rainbow activists. They have no problem driving a tranny into suicide, if it's for their personal luxury. Because of them, my transition is completely stuck. That's why you have to deal with this with the voice I have, and I can't fault anyone for what anyone calls me or thinks I am. However, this has led to very interesting situations yet again. When in real life, when I walk through the streets and I have a particularly good day, and I don't look like a corpse that just got out of a grave. And I have some natural passing bonus points. I get treated very nicely by almost everyone. The only people who stare or give me stupid comments are women. It's never men. It's always women, and usually around 40, and so usually past menopause. And I don't know what's up with that. The other thing is, so I'm treated rather nicely, and when I have trouble outside, or I have an interview with a ministry or some therapist thing in person, or the police or whatever, they're rather nice and kind. When they first get to know me only on paper, because of course for official stuff I still have to use my official name, or they only have me on the telephone first, people are very dismissive of my problems. There is a huge divide between the sexes of how you're treated. When you are a man, it doesn't matter how bad your problem is, and especially if the people who brought harm to you to the highest degrees, you will be dismissed, especially if they were women. When you are a woman, you are more likely listened to. That's just a fact in the West, or at least in my country.
All right, well, I want to see where she goes with this reference. I don't know if this is her belief. I doubt it, since she's just cracking jokes most of the time. But hopefully she'll reference the article and give us examples of what this person's referring to.
In other words, masculinity is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
No.
That guy was the worst. Who eats raw eggs? That is not...
Lots of people.
He's a caricature.
You'd be surprised.
I remember my dad was working out. He had, being Italian, wine with 2 raw eggs mixed together.
Really? That's
Did he also have
weird.
hair chest?
No, not really, no.
Oh my.
No, he didn't.
My dad would just drink eggs, not
Sigma
put wine and eggs
well,
together.
When you're in a rush and you don't have much money and you got to get out the door and you're Italian, you got wine and you got eggs and you got no time, so you just drink it all and go.
Oh my god, that's weird, honestly.
There's always wine
cool.
and
That's
there's
cool.
always eggs. So
It sounds like beer.
Take a picture of him next time.
It sounds like beer with strawberry yogurt.
Oh, really? Interesting. I personally love to have beer every morning. I don't know about the strawberry yogurt. That's a bit too much.
Oof.
I have yogurt after the beer, not during.
No, in the beer.
I know, that sounds weird. I'm like, whoa. Dairy and beer, not a good combo, yeah.
Well, I think it's a North Rhine-Westphalian thing.
Well, I did have a great tiramisu with a Heineken. Bad idea. Very, very bad.
Don't put the tiramisu into the Heineken.
No.
Tiramisu
Well, it makes no difference. Your stomach doesn't give a crap what order. It just goes tiramisu.
Just noticed.
Beer. Oh my god.
The hell does Gaston have in his mouth there?
Eggs.
Eggs.
Yeah.
Are those eggs?
Yes.
They're raw eggs.
Okay, smart guy. I heard the way you said that.
So what with the eggshell?
It's in the song. Haven't you seen Beauty and Beast?
I haven't seen it in years.
Okay.
No, I dislike most Disney movies. That's why I avoid
Germans
most
hate
of them.
Yeah. We can move on.
Germany hates Disney by default.
There were a few I like, but I don't actively seek them out.
You guys remember watching Rocky? I think Rocky also ate raw eggs.
Rocky was the Disney movie? What?
Yeah, Rocky Balboa.
Rocky the Third.
I don't know if it was owned by Disney. No, I don't think so.
Well,
no,
Disney's eventually going to own every movie out there, so it will be a Disney movie.
The only one, remember the Infinity Gauntlet meme? The only one they're missing is DC.
Yeah. Once they get
The only one.
Nap.
Once they had that, they have all of pop culture at the palm of their hand.
Well,
I like the salt in the stone.
There's lots of great things made with raw eggs, so mayonnaise and hollandaise sauce. I don't know if you guys remember talking about Advocat, which is this, was it Holland egg liqueur? I think Mexico also has one, and some other part of Europe, I can't remember. But there's lots of eggs in food and drink. That's raw. So
and Gaston.
Well, apparently so, yeah. Anyway.
Good for you. Stop Salmonella City.
There's no, you can't, okay, you crack the egg, you have 2 seconds to eat it. It's not going to develop a culture in 10 seconds, okay? It's not.
Isn't Gaston the not good guy?
He's the...
Yes, he's the villain.
Antagonist.
Yeah, he's an antagonist, yes.
Why are you showing us then the antagonist as the role model? Are you retarded?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
He's the bad guy.
But retarded people can make videos as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's no problem with that. It's just like how weak sauce this argumentation
She from Canada?
is. How bad this propaganda is. It's amazing. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if like Islam is like blocking her brain cells or something.
Yeah, it's the scary part is that there are people who gobble this stuff up.
Yeah, imagine
that are so dumb that they buy it.
Imagine she's describing the Joker from Tim Burton's 1989 Batman, and he deliberately defaces that model's face with acid. And she said, "What a horrible man!" It's like, yeah, it's the Joker.
It's the Joker, psycho. You moron.
What do you?
She must be consuming those Islam eggs, you know.
Yeah, and the whole big irony in this is that while the title of this is a play on "Don't Drink the Kool-Aid," is that the whole video is Kool-Aid.
Yeah, drink my Kool-Aid, not the other Kool-Aid.
Well, take the cool off. It's definitely AIDS.
Yeah, so this is complete. This whole video is gaslighting.
Well, there's always a silver lining. Basically, this channel has been defunct for a year now.
Oh, really?
Thankfully.
Yeah.
They had to merge into AJ+.
But remind me, why is it called "Don't Drink the Kool-Aid"? I like Kool-Aid.
That's
Kool-Aid's not healthy, man.
No, there's a historical preference. I don't know words anymore. Precedent. On this, where a suicide cult in the US, a rather famous case, don't ask me for names, was doing the suicide thing with poison Kool-Aid.
Oh.
So the mass suicide, they had their drinks, and it was Kool-Aid, and was poisoned, and that's where you get the "Don't drink the Kool-Aid."
I think that was Heaven's Gate.
Because the cult makes you drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. We're going to meet the aliens in a higher plane of existence. Okay.
Oh, yeah. It was an alien cult, right? Like something, sun, something with sun in their name or something. Sun worshippers. Sun enthusiasts.
Oh, yeah.
The Aztecs?
Sun, next to
Oh, yeah.
Versus
the suicide Kool-Aid man. I don't know.
It was the Johnstown thing.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, it was in the 70s.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop, Mark.
All right, let's keep going.
Did you just call me Mark again?
Yeah, Mark. Shut up.
See, I've made Eric.
Yeah, Gigaman's been doing that lately. He's been calling me Mark.
Confuse these two. I don't know how. I'm an idiot.
Anyway, let's get back to talking about toxic masculinity.
To talk about a driving factor behind some of the most violent behavior. We already know that half of female murder victims are killed by a male partner or former intimate.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to pause the video, but
based on what statistics?
Did you see the suggestion? It's how to be the perfect rape victim. What is that about?
What?
What?
on the so the video, it had a suggestion, and it said how to be the perfect rape victim. Did any of you see? Yeah, it was weird.
Behind some of the most violent behavior. We already know that half of female murder victims are killed by a male partner or former intimate.
By the way,
the sentence alone is bullshit. What is happening?
Rewinding it.
Manila City.
Fairly Eric said that.
Masculinity has been used
the suggestion
to talk
or
about a
something.
driving factor behind some.
How to be the perfect rape victim.
What is that? That was so odd.
No, the thing was, we thought you were talking about the actual video. We thought it was in the video.
Well, they're linking to a video they made. Obviously, that's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, is it a video that they made? Why would they make a video like that?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
it is an actual video. Oh my god.
Why?
Why not?
Oh god.
Fuck you, why not?
Is that a joke or is that like an actual topic?
That has to be a joke.
Well,
also the following thing that she's about to say, that nearly half of the victims were killed by men. Does that mean that like the majority of these cases are committed by women then?
The implication is possible.
Nearly 50% means it's less than 50%. So it means that more than 50% are committed by female. That is
that's what I also wanted to raise that detail. I mean, it could mean that more are not male partners but just males, but that's really not the implication that this sentence allows. It allows your interpretation. It's great. This is so dumb.
And absolutely no sources for this. Like you can't make a claim like this about homicide.
But the thing is, so there's no citation for this. I assume in the description of this video, but that it's formulated like this is likely referring to a statistic that has the numbers in this way. So I would believe, because this is so ill formulated, that it is a true statement. But it's formulated this way so that it still looks like men are the problem. It's just like with the homeless thing. 1 in 4 homeless people are women. Oh, we need to do something. Yeah, what's with the 3/4? The other 3/4? This is kind of the thing that's going on here. It's a nice statistical trick by just emphasizing the thing that's important to you. Because apparently the others aren't relevant. Oh.
Okay.
Some of the most violent behavior. We already know that half of female murder victims are killed by a male partner or former intimate partner, but now we have the grim patterns found in mass shootings. Since 1982, 97% of mass shooters in the US have been men. And of mass shooters...
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't bully them all the time and not neglect them all the time and emotionally extort and psychologically torture them. Because those men, as you say, most of them are teenagers in schools, which means they're kids. You little asshole. Also, what was this? Where was this? Was this in Florida or in no. Where the was it Orlando?
What, the latest mass shooting?
No, not the latest. The one where no, not Columbine. The one where an Islamist shot up like 50 gay people at a big dance club.
Oh, you mean the Orlando shooting? Yeah.
Yeah, it was Orlando. Okay, yeah.
Orlando or Vegas?
No, that was different. But this is the one, like it was a gay bar or something, or a gay nightclub or something like that.
Yeah, and and there was an Islamist doing that. I think 50 people got killed or at least injured. There was a lot of dead people, and Miss Qatari propagandist here is just lumping him in with male shooters. She's not going to tell us that this guy was radicalized by Islam.
Nah. Look, like those people were dead coded from start.
Yeah, it's just reduced to what is useful to the propaganda. They will tell you that sorry, I'm too exhausted to formulate this thought. I've said it before, but nah.
All right. Okay. Yes, most of them are male. Most of the prisoners in jail have various degrees of aggression issues. This is known, as we can say, yes, testosterone makes men more aggressive. We get it.
It also makes them more stoic and controlled.
There's lots of reasons for how you can deal with these issues, but they don't get the proper understanding of these things. There's all kinds of other problems.
I dropped out for a little bit. You guys were talking about the Orlando shooting?
Yes.
Yes.
Wasn't that done by some Muslim guy, I think?
Yes.
Was she defending it, or what was she?
Because she's just saying that 97% of U.S. mass shooters were male. Yeah, that's okay. This is because these are all such different cases with such different reasons where it comes from. That it's
and it was a gay bar that he shot up, right?
In Germany we have the saying, 99% of murderers have eaten bread 24 hours before their kill.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joke because Germans eat bread every day.
Yeah.
So lumping this so just blaming this on men is idiotic.
Okay.
Between 2009 and 2016, over half of the perpetrators had histories of domestic violence. We know the Pulse nightclub shooter.
Oh, interesting. Orlando gunman history of domestic violence.
Supposedly, it said that he was suffering from bipolar, but I don't know.
I don't know. Nobody wants to talk about the elephant in the room. It's everything. It must be everything but Islam. And with the kids, it must be everything but neglect of the parents and bullying from the other kids. They're all just victims. I want to vomit at the screen when I hear when a mass shooting happened in Germany, and we're supposed to then grieve with the parents. Like, they let their kid become like that. It's one outcome of many possible outcomes of a childhood neglect story. Many just end in suicide. A very few end in mass shootings and then suicide. And then there's tons of other results, and they're all not very nice.
Yeah,
this is just so disgusting and disingenuous. And at the same time, we are not here. It's brought up. It's framed as, oh, men are the problem about this topic, about that topic. And then later race will be brought into this, maybe not in this video, but in general. White men are the problem of this and that, and this and that, and they do this and that. And it's all generalized.
And they're gamers.
So the whole demographic is demonized.
If I didn't talk about IQ, I talked about male violence. In general, I would be considered a sexist, maybe, just maybe.
No, if you talked about male violence, you would be lauded and put on a pedestal by the left because you're saying the gospel. It's amazing.
It's mud nuts.
It's the Messiah. You just need to hate on the right groups, and then the left loves you.
Have the right stats, argue the right points. Then
you don't need the right stats. You just need to argue the right points.
Yeah, you can't
hate the right groups. Hate the group that the left currently says has to be hated.
Yeah, you have to agree with our science. Not that science, our science.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, how did we get here? Like,
by not realizing how the communists operated for a fucking century.
Well, this is like saying, okay, domestic problems are a male aggression issue, then here's the extreme of that. Then we have multiple mass shootings. And you're like, okay, yes, they're all men. What's the correlation? What is the factor you're trying to connect? And she didn't do that. She just jumped to, hey, men also do this. Hey, men also do that. It's like, you know what? Men also play sports really well. That's aggression. That's genetics. That's training. That's all kinds of things. We can connect the dots and play correlation all we want, but you're not addressing what's the cause here. And I don't like this statistic of, oh, well, men do this a lot. You're like, that's right. How is that related to the previous point? Because those are totally different issues of individuals getting angry at something for some reason. Why are they angry? It's not because they're men.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because they got lots of juices flowing through their bodies. Tell us reason why. No one rationally picks up guns and goes, okay, I'm going to start killing people because that's the best thing I should do for my life right about now. That's the only way.
I mean, we try really hard not to resort to that. You know, nobody wants that.
Yeah, there's no teacher that teaches you, okay, at the end of your rope, what you do is you murder everyone. Okay, that's the best thing you can do for yourself right now. No one ever teaches that to anyone. So something happened to prevent these thoughts and actions to go into focus, which has nothing to do with male aggression. You might have a greater predisposition because you are so aggressive, so you think these thoughts more, but that doesn't mean you actually do it.
Yeah.
And there's no connection between predisposition and social upbringing and other things she's talking about, because it's not there might be some breadcrumbs, but she's not showing us that. And even then, if she were, it would just be this huge correlation with no evidence. And even if you had those correlation agreements and they were positive or largely negative, that's still just correlation.
Yes.
It's still not enough. So all we've got
correlation is not causation.
Yeah, all we've got are men are highly aggressive because of their hormones. It's like, yes, you're right. And that caused them to go to jail more because of all the things they get into. They get confused, they get drunk, yada, yada. Their desires get the better of them. Yes, you're right. But what's the cause?
Sorry to interject on that point. I'm getting more and more annoyed by the left, and especially the feminists of the left, painting testosterone as this poisonous substance that has only negative effects.
Well, it's not just testosterone; it's the entire sex. Like, we can talk about specific androgens that males have that women don't, or whatever, but they're not as influential. Like the human growth hormone is more effective on men, and they're dominant alleles, so they're taller at certain stages, and all this other crap. It's like, yeah.
The point is that they're still complaining about fundamental aspects of human nature.
But they're not connecting ridiculous. The dots. They're not saying, here's the problem. And
that's even worse. That's what I'm saying.
And we know some of the problems.
Weird.
We know some of the causes, not all of them, but we know some of the causes. It's like, oh yeah, we need to raise our young boys better, and they need solid foundations for families. They need proper spiritual upbringing, whatever you want to call that, whether it's social or I don't know, whatever you want to call treating boys with respect and giving them camaraderie and respecting others. Like, there's all kinds of ways to do that. And usually that was done by the church. That's how I was done. And, you put the fear of God in someone. It's like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't screw around. There's a time to play and there's a time not to play. And you learn that very quickly. Nowadays, with some kids, they are not taught to behave. They're taught to be left alone or not to be aggressive with them.
Or not taught anything at all.
Or I see this a little with my my niece and nephew. They're adorable, but they should be taught to be quiet sometimes, especially.
You just want to smack them, don't you?
Well, no, I don't want to hit them. It's just like, okay, yeah, you got to control your kids sometimes. Like, they're not horrible. That's why it's not a big deal. But it's okay.
There's just certain kids where they don't know where the line is exactly.
Right.
I feel like sometimes just giving them a little slap in the.
Sometimes, every so often, a good spank is all you need.
And I've gotten that, and trust me, it's effective. It works.
I know, but people like Stefan Molyneux would disagree. All this research.
Don't beat the shit out of them.
Well, yeah.
Just one good spank in the ass, And it's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm being serious. It's like one good spank on the butt cheek, and it's like they'll behave. It is effective. But that's really all you need. That's really all you need sometimes.
Yeah.
I always thought leaving people without supper was a good solution. So
that's good too. Yeah, especially if you're a hungry boy, I guess.
Well, every kid gets hungry, but the weirdest thing is when you feed your kid. I've noticed with the younger parents, not just my brother's family, but in general, they don't feed them properly. Like they'll feed them, but it'll be like bread or chips or fries, nothing substantial like steak or pork or whatever cheese they got. It's like why aren't you feeding them protein and fats? It's like, oh, they don't like it. It's like, what do you mean they don't like it? It's delicious. It's what aren't you doing? Like, don't you know how to cook this stuff? It's really easy. It's just you put some fat in there, get some salt, maybe some pepper if they like it. If they don't like it, don't worry about it. Fry it up for a good 5-10 minutes. Fantastic. What are you talking about? Oh, they don't like chewing it. It's like, well, then they go hungry. Like, what? They need it. They need. That's what do you think mother's milk has in it? It's fat and protein. It's good stuff. You need that. There's a little bit of carbohydrates and other stuff as well, but mostly fat and protein. And you need this as a growing kid. And if they're not eating it, and you're going to stunt their growth, they're going to be not as tall as they could be, not as healthy as they could be.
Yeah, there's tons of other substances and hormones in that you will not find in formula.
Yeah, it's healthier.
Also, it's a bonding issue between child and mother.
Yeah, it's great. But I think this is an inherent problem throughout all the first world. So it's not just people I see; it's the hands-off approach,
it's everywhere,
which I don't really like.
Yeah, also very important. Well, not very. It's a side thing, but the reason we like vanilla so much as a flavor is because mother's milk contains, and human mother's milk, not cow milk, human mother's milk contains vanillin, the chemical, the molecule that is responsible for the flavor of vanilla. So it's the flavor. It's the first flavor we grow up with.
Apparently, babies can tell the flavor of garlic in breast milk 3 to 4 times more than other fluids.
Oh, wow.
Something weird like that. I read. Yeah.
Where'd you read that?
This was like 10 years ago. I was like, what is up with that?
What sane-minded mother would spike their own milk with garlic?
No. This is
you don't spike it.
This is just
No. I'm not saying it happens. I'm just saying that's what I thought of.
No.
The child can sense the flavor of whatever acid is in garlic. There's a bunch of acids in all kinds of vegetables like onions and garlic that are very strong.
Oh, okay.
And it's the
same.
Then
the child rejects the drinking?
No, it doesn't reject it. No, they like it.
They like it?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Babies like garlic. Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is with it's true for mother's milk. It's true for sweat. It's true for certain body parts and other fluids. What you eat changes the flavor and smell. Usually, you need a little bit more of that, but that's also true about genital areas. So it's not just your sweat changes smell. It's also other things that it's the one good thing about a vegan diet. Certain tastes get a little bit better.
Well, the thing with vegetables in nature is we don't know the full health benefit of a lot of vegetables, and we've known for a few, like when people get sick, they have like onion soup or garlic soup or all kinds of other flavors that they go off of fats, or they go off of sugars, they go off of proteins whenever a certain ailment hits them. So we know there are solutions for that, and we have all kinds of homemade remedies that people have. Like the Mediterranean, there's this joke about the Mediterranean woman. It's always a good idea to marry a Mediterranean woman. She has lots of home or natural remedies that will help you throughout your life. So it's
home skills.
She's got, I don't know, motherly knowledge about stuff.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that you are inherit from your grandparents. that get passed on without have anything to do with science. But the yogis know this, the old mothers know this, the gypsies know this.
Some traits skip a generation or two.
Right. So there's all kinds of things you did when you were sick and you didn't have much, and all you had was a bunch of potatoes or
Tabasco.
In certain cases, you had a tobacco farm. or in Italians' cases, you always have a tomato plantation of some kind. So you do what you do with what you got, and you figure stuff out, and that's just the home remedy solution to lots of things. So weird that works out.
Yeah. In the chat, Siege put it well, saying these nutters are using the smallest percentage of horrible guys to judge men as a collective, while using the thinnest of degree of random evidence to gaslight their friends and the unaware.
She made her bias very clear. The first sentence she uttered was "not all men."
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as you start with that, you know you're in for a very slanted look at whatever. If you're giving us the "not all Scotsmen" fallacy and trying to lampshade it right off the bat, you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's great. She goes with the "not all men," and then brings up the 97% of all mass shooters are men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's 3% who are not. That's not all. You asshole.
Yeah. Well.
And of course, with women and with Islamists, it's always just that's just individual lone wolf cases. Don't judge the whole sex or the whole religion by these exceptions there.
And yet, this bitch is doing it in this video.
Yeah. The other way around, you have one man who does a stupid, and it's the whole sex's fault.
Yeah, it's all the talking points you have to do.
It's only the toxic men. Those men we don't have numbers for because there's no stats on toxic masculinity.
But it's like the phantom Nazis that are everywhere, and that we need to. That's why we need to implement police state laws and fascism, because there are Nazis we need to fight that we don't even know where they are.
All right.
Who killed 40 people, abused his wife, and was deeply homophobic. We know that the Texas man who
because he's an Islamist
had previously assaulted his wife and infant son. And we know that the guy who killed 3 people at a Planned Parenthood in Colorado was accused by 2 ex-wives of domestic violence. And to think, if
he was accused, it doesn't mean he was guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm accused of a lot of stuff, and most of that is actually my abusers are guilty of that. Because that's how they work.
Proven innocent.
I seem to remember Michael Jackson being accused of many things, and he was guilty at every time. Okay.
And they still like bash him for it even after he died.
Yeah.
It's Michael Jackson.
No evidence. Fake confessions, all this crap. Anyway.
Things were slightly different. He could have made a fantastic White House aide. Also, the shooters had unfettered access to highly powered, fully automatic.
Oh, he could also be president right now, sniffing children's hair and making comments about how they like his hairy legs and stuff.
And how black you're not, and how we gotta go over there and
how well the wall's coming along.
Yeah, you go to a grocery store, and that's an allegory, okay?
I'm not sure what Biden is saying these days, but I'm sure it's very embarrassing for Americans in general. Like, it's one thing to be embarrassed by Trump because he says off the cuff stuff. It's one thing to be a mentally deranged man talking about anything.
Isn't Biden the president that finally got the soldiers out of Afghanistan? Finally.
Yes. Oh yeah, he got them out.
No, he did. Oh god, he didn't follow the plan. The plan was 1st of March or 1st of May or something.
And then it got changed to before 2 days ago, which was the 20th
but it wasn't just a plan. It was already not contracted, but agreed with the Taliban that the American soldiers would be out by then. And Biden just did nothing. So the whole mess, the whole chaos that's going on is his fault.
Yep.
I mean, are they all out at least, or are they still over there?
I don't know the current situation.
The thing is, they have to. Well, eventually the agreement turned into they had to be out by 2 days ago, or else. Yeah. So anyone that got left behind is screwing the pooch on the whole agreement right now.
I think agreement was broken already.
Thanks,
anyway.
Biden.
Yeah, fucking loser.
I mean, when it was
I think that's on purpose. I mean,
I think it was changed to the anniversary because it was going to take a bit longer.
You know, this guy doesn't make any decisions anymore. He is the literal marionette in front of the camera.
Yeah, he's just a bobblehead.
It's Weekend at Bernie's.
Nobody makes fun of him other than the internet.
Yeah, I think we should.
It's amazing. Wow.
Dude, I hope we get Weekend at Bernie's free and Bernie's president. Yeah.
It's like as much of a hot take as these political morons want to think. It's like at least a couple things Trump was actually doing right. Most of it was wrong, but
Orange Man funny.
At least he was awake.
Yeah. I mean,
back to toxic masculinity.
I mean, just to end this topic now, it's like at least Trump immediately called out everyone that was involved in the Afghan bullshit. He called them out immediately, like right after taking office. At least he had the common sense to just say it, that they all fucked up. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm just baffled by being preached about toxic masculinity all the time, and then I am, if I was American, but I'm also in Germany, you're also forced to endorse Biden because Trump is evil. Well, you are only allowed to have one opinion, and Trump is obviously bad because that's what the press says.
Yeah, but like he's not ruling over Germany.
Yeah, that is true. But the same propaganda primes the people here the same way as if he was.
Germany, the 51st state of the US.
Honest question.
There are points about that can be made the way Germany is just toting the line of America, especially when the Democrats are in charge, through the organization called Atlantikbrücke, the Atlantic Bridge, which goes all the way back to post World War II. Because the hold of America on Germany is still very strong. So don't just think it's all Germany's doing bad shit in Europe. Yeah, a lot of that shit is by proxy from America.
All right, anyway, let's get back to the video. Here's Noble Commando. Why are you covering Qatari propaganda? Well, the previous video was a video game video, and it wasn't for everyone. It was just a fanboy doing a decent job talking about what he likes and what he doesn't like about a certain game. And
a fanboy actually being smart and logical, that's a fallacy.
Yeah, he did a good job. I'm watching it, but there's nothing for us to analyze. There's nothing for us to go, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, or oh, that's weird, or like it's not a Smudcast kind of video. And I'm asking the mods to just when you see a video, watch it for a minute. Just watch it. Say, yeah, that's probably not good. So I eventually have to watch a lot of it. So I can't watch every single video.
Yeah,
which is the problem.
That means
you have to watch all of it, Smud, no matter what.
Yeah, and I think 99% of what Linkara does is not all that good for Smudcast either.
Yeah, because the video also needs to be good for the format. If it's just this was a nice video, then we don't have anything to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like someone reviewing a game that is fairly well and balanced, and you're like, oh, it's a good review. And there's nothing controversial. There's nothing wow, there's nothing exciting. It's just this is a game.
Or retarded.
Nothing to argue about.
Yeah, there's nothing for us to sink our teeth into and go, okay, we can work and figure this out, because unless it's a game we know like Last of Us and they give it glowing reviews and you're like, wait a second, you think this is a healthy example of femininity or psychological development? You're like, whoa, where did you get that? So you have to understand that when people have bad takes, that's interesting because they're trying to tell you what they think is good. And that's why I always say it's very difficult to describe what is good. Bad, everyone has a good understanding of what's painful or boring or not fun or whatever. So it's easier for someone to bash on something. So when you're saying something is attractive, like, hey, I like Kingdom Hearts because it has the Disney characters, it has all these summons, I like the gameplay, you're like, okay, fair enough. Nothing wrong with that. And if that's the video, then there's not much for us to play with. So we can't flex our brains, we can't do anything. We're just sort of going, sure, that's a fine opinion. You can enjoy your game. So
it takes like years to finish.
Well, yeah, if he were to just talk about the story and how good the characterization was or how great the lore is, then we'd go, oh my God, are you for real? That is a mouthful. So, but he was focusing on just the game as a game, not as a story. So that's
okay.
That's why when we, like that Ruby video we didn't cover, same thing. It's like this guy. Well, that was a different case, but it was still a fanboy gushing about why he liked something, and you're like, okay, yeah. But he was doing it in a very weird way, which wasn't very entertaining. And for
which the guys in general we see are still salty about that.
Well, yeah, when you watch that video and the guy's like pauses, and you're like, why are you pausing? Like, you didn't make a point yet. You're just describing what's happening in the scene for 5 minutes. You're like, yeah, and then he starts talking about what could happen. It's like, no, I'm not having that thought. You are. Stop it. Play the video.
Stop thinking.
Like, he just hear this scene where we see her foot move forward, means she's going to jump. It's like, is she? I don't know. She could. You know that bullshit that AT chat pulled? Like, you know, when he moves his foot or his toe like 1 inch, he means he's feeling depressed. What the hell was he talking about? The scar on the ground was my pain is the pain and suffering of his soul or some bullshit. You're like, what are you getting?
Wisp, you make the joke about stop thinking, but that's literally Ruby in a nutshell.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about this. This video here is while it's a great example of the social justice propaganda always calling other things toxic. And this video itself is a good example that this accusation itself is projection.
Yeah, they always go to gun shootings, like always.
Not just that. This itself, if you use the meaning of the word and look at, does this apply to what this video is doing? Yes. This video itself is toxic, is poisonous. Because that's what propaganda is supposed to be. It's supposed to poison your mind with crap.
So Al Jazeera Plus is propaganda funded by the Qatari government. Yeah, I think.
We went over that.
We went over that quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway, we can stop in another minute. I'm not really enthusiastic about going through the rest of this crap. We've already heard it before.
No, she's just gonna say the same shit that we've always heard.
Yeah, it's just more of this. It's just more different things of the same shit.
Yeah.
How long have we been going for?
We've been going for 2 hours and a half.
Oh wow,
that's enough.
Didn't feel like it.
Yeah, let's just go for another 30 seconds. See how she does.
Out of guns, but I am not here to draw conclusions. But the connections between toxic masculinity and mass murder get even scarier because more and more mass acts of violence are being committed by far-right.
Okay, we're done.
Yep. Okay. Sweet. All right.
Jesus, how many topics do we have to jump here, lady? Oh, this is connected because of this thing and this political thing I don't like, and this thing that men are doing I don't like.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, the other lying about statistics activist organization is telling us things
oh, but we'll completely ignore that the left wing is killing people actively en masse.
And pedophilia.
Yeah.
To the memes.
That's just why I brought up the president puppet. Because I'm supposed to be all against toxic masculinity, but yeah, the hair sniffer that I'm supposed to vote for.
Here's another video.
People live in their cars. How are they part of the patriarchy? I don't get it.
Here's another video from 3 years ago. 24,000 downvotes, only 2,000 upvotes. Same YouTube channel. Why it's okay to be white is racist.
What is this channel?
What
is this channel?
Change the word white to black. Like, just change the word white to any other race and just cry on the inside.
I think I know what they mean. It's like, no, it's not okay to say that, you know.
Yeah, but then you're saying, oh, it's okay to say
diversity.
BLM, but you can't say ALM or whatever. It's like, why?
It's like, why? It's okay to be white. It really is.
What a bizarre... like,
it's okay to be any fucking race. That's what these people don't want.
It's okay to be a mix.
Just because you do not want a race war doesn't mean that the other group doesn't want you extinct and will try to do it.
So here's another one. Why do Republican women love a party that hates them?
Because they're stupid.
Oh god!
Why do Republican women love
bullshit?
A party that hates?
This is pure projection.
How do they hate them though?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, like it's probably because they don't hate them.
They're suicidal, I guess.
Joe crazy. I have crippling depression.
Well, yeah. See, that's funny, but the woman, oh boy, she just put her brother on blast.
Yeah. Smack my head. Yet another example of how society is engineered to oppress women. Ladies, please poop in the toilet, not the floor.
How is that oppression? How is telling people not to be stupid oppression?
Do you remember how I explained why women's public toilets are shit?
Well, quite literally, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah, that's what that is referring to.
Jesus.
Yes, the year-long question that I've always had.
The religion of libertarianism? Okay. Democrat versus Democrat, the fight between progressives and centrists? Will social media destroy democracy? And school shootings a good reason to lower the voting age?
No.
What?
What is this?
What did Adam come up with these titles?
What? Is she smoking fucking meth?
This is all just...
I doubt she's making...
Here's my one-word reviews of each. Here's my one-word reviews of each. Stupid, no.
This is great. Oppression then, we've got Mr. SS about to blow someone away. And we have oppression now. I'm a white heterosexual male. Stop oppressing me.
Oh my god, it's the same woman too.
That's
Big Red.
That's good.
Yeah, Big Red.
I don't know who made that. That's good.
Very famous Torontonian.
Any relation to Big Green?
I don't know.
Dragon Ball.
When the squad getting ready to go out and be oppressed. What the what is happening?
Cool. I'm glad you got diversity. This is the LGBT.
What is happening?
All but two of them are fat, by the way.
Yeah. Well.
Because screw oppression. All my homies hate oppression, right?
Now let's go to the Burger King.
Oh, there's more.
Oh.
Powerful white nationalists behind the English-only movement. All right. The biggest myths.
What's Hawk up to?
Oh, we're in stream memes?
The biggest myths about socialism. The biggest...
Oh my
Stupid
god.
and moronic.
No.
Do they want to be even more obvious than this?
Yeah.
Oh! The I have crippling depression guy is a German stand-up comedian who turned more and more radical left.
Oh god. So this is
what?
iDubbbz?
No, that's iDubbbz.
iDubbbz, a German
iDubbbz is
comedian?
German?
Oh no, okay, then it's just the exact same look.
Oh, okay.
Probably the look, I guess. It's like because I'm pretty sure that's
like I dubbed
No,
it German.
No, I didn't.
He's American.
I didn't know he was a German. That's what I was gonna say.
No. Maybe he just no. It's not IDubbbz.
Okay, yeah. No.
I forgot the name.
It's probably just the look for the sake of. It's probably just the look for the sake of the meme.
Something with S, but his whole shtick is also that he plays a depressed nerd on stage.
We was Germans.
But he's not. I think his first skit was funny, and the rest was just turning more and more into propaganda.
And he's gay. If you didn't know that.
So here's
the German.
Here is a battle for the title of Top of the Looney Bin. We have Maggie May and I guess this girl, whoever she is.
I thought that was AOC for a second.
I don't know. I guess it's this girl. I don't remember.
The YouTuber.
What if toxic masculinity is the reason for climate change? Oh boy.
Absolutely. What blunt are you smoking to say that?
Some of this I can't even take seriously. I don't even know how to react to. I'm like, what the frickin' hell is this? We're just gonna kill.
We're just gonna kill him.
Ever.
That's Sam Hyde.
All right, so we've got Face App. Oh wow.
What's the difference?
I can't see.
I can't tell.
Yeah.
Okay, Forbes is retarded.
Honestly, if you guys look at a zoom in of Mr. Cuban Presidente,
Castro and Trudeau are just the same person.
They look so bloody close. I think they did it with Trudeau's mom. Like that was the joke, that they took Trudeau's mother's features and combined them face app with
Mama Castro.
With
Mama Castro.
With Castro's face, and we get Trudeau's.
Yeah, but look at his
Mama Castro. Wow.
Yeah, but look at his allegedly real father, and he looks completely different.
I know.
And the Trudeaus were often visiting the Castros in Cuba because they were befriended. And it was an open relationship his father had with his wife.
Apparently, we don't know. We do know that they were chummy around with a lot of celebrities, even with Trudeau, young Trudeau, going around with the Aga Khan and all kinds of other weirdos. So,
yeah. Then have you read Trudeau's necrologue about Castro?
No, I tried not to.
It's read it.
Yeah,
it looks like he's praising his father.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
For all the great achievements and that he wanted only good, and this is a fucking genocidal maniac.
The guy spent more money than any other prime minister before him because he invented the idea of borrowing because of some university idea that I think the States invented. I don't know where he got the idea. But he went, oh yeah, we can just borrow money and have our grandchildren pay it off. It's great. It's like, wait a second. You really want to do that? And people went along with it. So now people like myself and others are fitting the bill for the Expo and all kinds of other bullshit that they spent money on that weren't worth it. Oh, great. It's a live action shot of Mr. President.
Mr.
Trump.
Joe. Mr. Joe.
Yeah. Joe the President.
Uncle Bernie. I want the third movie where Bernie is the president.
In all honesty, would Bernie Sanders have been that much worse?
No, not Bernie Sanders. I mean, Weekend at Bernie's.
No. I'm talking about like the actual presidency. Would Sanders have been that much worse?
Yes.
Differently worse.
Sure.
Yes. See, Biden's just incompetent. Bernie would be like, I want to spy everything. I'm going to spend money. Like, okay, what do you want to spend it on?
Information is power.
As if that hasn't been the problem for the last 20 years since 9/11.
Well, it's been longer than that.
With Bernie, it might be possible that you would have gotten instant mega inflation like Venezuela.
We never know.
Wait, what did you just say?
Venezuela.
Anyway,
oh, okay.
Disney villains arguing. That pumpkin has had enough with them. I'm out. I'm out. No one freaks like Gaston or critiques like Gaston. I'm a bitching match. Nobody shrieks like Gaston. Oh, in a bitching match. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Also, I identify as a transgender woman.
Do not click the video. It's Riley and Milo. This can't just be horror.
I hit pause.
This is two fake trans people.
Yeah.
Two trans.
I already played it, and then I heard what you were saying.
I was like, that's a guy.
It's two transgenders, two trans activists who both claim that you don't need gender dysphoria in order to be trans. And
what?
And the one on the right is
that may be the case.
Yeah, and Milo even admitted to just doing it to get a rise out of people, to going into the wrong bathroom to get a rise out of people.
I don't know.
This is histrionic behavior.
I'm pretty sure gender dysphoria at least proves you still have somewhat of a functioning brain. No offense, Wiz.
Thank you.
I mean with these people, like the nut jobs out there that just do it because...
They don't have functioning brains. That's why they believe and claim to have things they don't.
So we've seen this.
Exactly.
We've seen this meme before, only a different format. So now we have... Going back to segregation. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, someone made it.
Weekend at Biden's. Great. Oh, dear.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what I wanted to see. Thank you, Joe Crazy.
Oh, God. I will not make the vaccine mandatory, so that was a fucking lie.
Well, it was. I mean, come on.
Well, we're getting our Ontario passport, I think, another week or so. So, yeah, it's great. That thick raven hair, those tightly fit clothes, what are these unholy desires?
No one turns men gay like Gaston.
Yeah. That was which one is that from? That's from the Hunchback of Notre Dame?
Yes.
The old dude's from Hunchback, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
Voiced by Corey Burton.
When the left labels you a terrorist, but Biden hasn't given you a Black Hawk yet. Or 70. Have you finished reading the Constitution yet, Nancy? Now can you read? How can you read this? There's no pictures. Okay, yeah, that was...
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Gaston Guide to Picking Up Chicks, Step 1, pick up some chicks. There you go. I mean, that's...
Pick up chicks.
That's a good strategy.
It's very effective, I agree. Yeah.
It's very effective, yeah.
Gaston uses pick up chicks. Chicks are happy. Okay.
But that's depression, okay?
All right. Well, that was predictable. No sweat off my back. Yeah, honestly, it was just, this is the kind of goofy video it's going to be. Nothing serious. So I started.
It's almost classic at this
point.
I
started writing a comment. I'm like, nope, I know all this stuff. But the
one she's not going to get back to
the one with the men suffer from the patriarchy, that was new. I think I never heard that one before.
Oh, God.
Really? Yeah. Really? That's a standard thing they use that to get men on board with fighting the patriarchy.
You're suffering from a boogeyman?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And that's why we need to change the constitution, because there's the phantom bad people.
Invisible forces are making you evil. You must fight them with me. I'm like, okay, crazy lady, do I get to sleep with you in 2 days? Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
How does this lie go with in your brain? I don't know.
That's kind of the idea, I think.
Yeah.
Why they comply with it.
Oh. Anyway, that was not even a flex. We just sort of went, okay, well, that was a video.
Yeah, that's a crazy woman. Stay away from her.
Just another crazy, stupid person.
Maybe we'll get some better arguments these days. I don't even know if there are any.
She doesn't have the magic, the Maggie magic, right?
No, she's
Maggie
not even funny. Maggie is funny for other reasons. Like, she's just nuts. It's amazing to watch her be so confident.
At least with Renegade Cut, we can riff on him all night and day.
Well, with Renegade Cut, I don't think he cares. He's just like, okay, this is like, what happened. And
okay, I'm going to talk to you about black
sitcoms, which makes it easy to dunk on him. And at least have a laugh at his expense.
I am an educator, not an organizer.
Bitch, you do video analysis. Bitch, you do analysis videos. You're supposed that's teaching people about shit they don't know.
Well, they may not want to actually teach if they're just spouting talking points. It's kind of weird to hear this stuff over and over again after the past 6 years. You're like, oh God, not more. It's the same stuff.
That's just funny. He always uses
stop the stupid. Stop the stupid already.
Point he wants to make.
Stop the spread of the stupid.
Anyway, thanks guys. If you want to do your fan topic, get a video that you have watched where there is a argument. There is something he's trying to say or prove. And I know it's hard because when I do a video, I try to be as clear-headed and observant as possible, but if something is bad, then it's easy to point out. When something is good, that's really tough. So when you have a fanboy saying, here's this thing I love, and it's really good, then I don't really care because it's not going to help me learn anything. But if he says, here's a thing I love, but there's so many problems, it's like, okay, there's a good video if we can cover. Like if in that Kingdom Hearts video, he started talking about the story, he says, oh my God, this story is horrible. Like, oh really? Let's hear about it. That would be something for us to work with. Because there's some criticism.
Not really, because it is convoluted as fuck.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like he loves the game. I'm like, and he talked about the game. So maybe if I watch the next half of that video, he'll talk about the story. But I, didn't see a point. So I like it when it's structured and well thought out, and then we can say, okay, now we have something to work with because we know how crazy Kingdom Hearts can get. Anyway.
Yeah.
Keep the suggestions coming. Please watch the videos before recommending them. Don't just say, hey, you guys should cover this, because I get that in my comments all the time anyway. And please watch it yourself. If you think it's worthy of our time and has some points, we'll definitely consider it. And if it doesn't get watched, and if you keep telling us to watch it, it'll be part of a next voting session. And, it might pop up. We might cover it. I don't care what the topic is, so long as it's not a fanboy gushing, because that does not help anyone. It's not fun to watch. You're not learning anything. It's pure emotion, and
part of the problem.
It is one of the reasons why I made this channel is because I was having the opposite reaction to a bunch of fanboys. And you have to use your brain to properly appreciate the things you enjoy. Because if you don't, you're just an ignoramus going through media, consuming and going, meh, this tasted okay, meh, this tasted okay, and I like this one better.
Oh, look, blinking lights.
This is chocolate, this is vanilla, yummy. That's not really why we're here. So I want people to identify their feelings and thoughts when they experience something. And that requires mental processes and critical thought. So
that's a skill you want to have in general.
Yes, I agree. This is why
it actually makes you happier.
I would say it is the foundation for enjoyment in life. If you do not understand your vices,
that's better. Yeah.
If you do not understand why you like things, like, hey, this pretty girl I'm with for a year, what's the deal? Well, you better figure that out soon. It's been a year, buddy. What are you doing?
Yeah, and this is also learning to properly identify your emotions, what are you having at what moment and why, is part of certain forms of therapy where people do lack these things, where it's either underdeveloped or simply not there from the get-go.
It's kind of like the women or the woman who wants to have a family, but she also wants to have fun. It's like, okay, what's your cutoff? When do you want to have that? When do you want to start?
I want both, and I also want a career.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to deal with these weird plans that don't have any plan. Just you want what? You want to make money?
Okay, you want everything. You need to be free people.
And you want a house. You want a horse. You want a car. Like, wait a second. How does this work? How are you gonna get there? I mean, sure, go for the moon, but you got to plan it out. You can't just throw it on me. So anyway, thank you, gentlemen, and Wisp. Always a pleasure. Always fun to Well, not always, but usually it's fun to take these things apart. Sometimes it's very painful, but we're okay. We've been doing it for a while. So, thank you again. Keep the suggestions coming. We'll talk to you soon. Have yourself a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.